disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
Wait.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it, man.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
You just killed a fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. Yeah, because you got nothing. You got nothing.
I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA boxing.
To an BD Boxing Podcast, broadcasting to you live from the True North. This is a good friend, Mr. BDA, and I sure am glad. That's right, sure I'm glad that everybody could be on board for this one, fellas. In this episode, we got a fantastic one for you as we continue to preview the mega card that's going to be taking place tomorrow between Terence Crawford and Israel Madrimov, and of course, a whole bunch of other fights, appetizing, delightful fights in the undercard. We're going to be talking about that plus more. This ain't an Open Lines Friday show necessarily, although I do plan on inviting people that we usually don't have on the regular roster, so stay tuned for that. I'm also going to be opening up the phone lines in case anybody wants to make some last-minute predictions or tweaks to their predictions, all right, fellas? We're going to talk about all of that plus more, so stay tuned for that. Before we get down to the fun, let's get the business out of the way. You guys know the drill. If you want to donate a couple of shekels our way, you're certainly welcome to do so via the Super Chat feature, although it's always better if you join the membership program. That way you get more bang for your buck. We also have a Patreon page. That way you can fund our independent, hard-hitting documentaries. We're actually working on one now. Boxing's most shocking and obscure moments of all time, so stay tuned for that. But of course, the most important thing is you continue to like, you subscribe, and you spread that BDA gospel. Finally, don't forget you can check us out on Spotify, iTunes, and Spreaker at your leisure. All right, fellas? Speaking of those who listen to us on their leisure or at their leisure, let's give a big shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm talking about Warp Speed, the Quags, Never Sobers, Isaac Bermudez, Chrome, I believe he's the king of the ruler of the kingdom of Chrome. Shout out to Mac 11, Mars Boxeo, Super Sardonic, Sam Rando, the Quags, one of the initiated. Shout out to the Quags, Mr. Vanilla, who's got a very perturbing and unnerving alien gray emoji right there. Look at that. Hard Recoil, Iceman, shout out to the Iceman, another one of the initiated. Team Batman Boxing, Old Well, another one of the initiated. Soul Passive Live, Frank Bay, Handflow Boxing Review, Geo Coaching for Jesus, Average Boxing Fan, aka El Tanquecito, or El Big Tanque rather, no El Tanquecito. Alfredo Contreras, the Kane Mac. Who else we got? Many more people to come. Hash the X-Face Boxing, 2 Matador. And like I said, many more people to come, I am sure. And I am sure because, listen, people were saying, come on, man, we need a Friday show. And I said, you know what? I agree. Just not a open lines. The open lines, they're difficult to control. We've been working on rerouting the audio that we talk with people through on Discord. That way they can hear us better and we can manage the show better. But again, it's still a working process. Our technicians are in the midst of it. So until then, we'll just try to do a show where we invite just regular people, but in a more close, controlled format. All right, fellas, and this is one such show. One of the things that I wanted to talk about was the fact that I was on Thunderdome's stream yesterday. I know Never Sobers is one of the big fans of that channel. He was there yesterday on the chat. And yeah, I was, we were talking about the Madrimov Crawford fight. We were breaking it down. And I've said about as much as I can say about this fight, or at least I thought I did. And then some new points arose during the discussion in that one. So I'm just going to reiterate some of those points in this show. I'm going to take the advantage of doing this last-minute show to do that, and perhaps also tweak my prediction just a tiny little bit. A little bit. Not too much. Nobody likes somebody that changes their mind. Nobody likes a flip-flopper. But I am within my rights to do what I want. Also, by the way, the BDA members, I don't know if you guys noticed, if you read your contract when you become a BDA member, but I do, me and BDA, as one of the rulers of this channel, I have the rule and the right of prima nocte. Or was it prima nocte? I forget. My Latin is a little rusty, but essentially what it means is if you get married, I have first dibs at your wife on marriage day. All right? Watch Braveheart. I mean, that's as historic as it gets. You don't need to read a book. You need to verify that on Google. It's in Braveheart, 1995. So make sure to check that one out. What else was I going to do here? I was going to invite a couple of people here, but I'm looking at the group here. How can I? Okay, I'll try to invite people on this via this platform. I'm going to invite. I don't know if Frank Bay. Like I said, I want to invite new people. Frank, I don't know if I have you as a friend on Discord. So if I don't, I can't invite you. So contact me on Discord, Frank, if you want to jump on, and we'll drill some holes into this big event that's happening tomorrow. The other thing we were talking about over at Thunderdomes was Turki Alalshikh's investment or involvement rather in this affair, this giant affair, which is the boxing. One has to wonder how long this is going to last, this union. Is he going to get bored at some point? Are the people who are in control of him are going to pull his money away at some point? And are we going to go back to business as usual with boxing? I don't know. I see we got Never Sobers here. Sobers, I wanted to ask you something. I was on Thunderdomes.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. I can hear you. Can you hear me, though? That's a big question.
Yeah, I can hear you clear, bro. I just want to make sure, bro, before you ask.
Fantastic.
Go ahead, my bad.
I'm glad we got all of that figured out. Now, hold on a second. I'm trying to share the screen here with you. Okay, here we go. Yeah, okay, so we were talking about the Turki Alalshikh thing, and the Sheikh appears to match his fighter's stuff. Like when he had Deontay Wilder, he wanted to make Wilder versus Joshua. That didn't happen because Wilder ended up losing to Parker. And instead of giving Wilder a gimme fight and saying, yeah, we'll give you a tune-up and blah, blah, they put him in there against Zhile Zhang. The Amero guys are not getting their usual benefits over there. You know, usually here in America, it's, where are my benefits? Where are my benefits? They're not getting their benefits over there. And again, like I said, he's matching them.
No in Saudi Arabia, BDA.
What's that?
No EBT accepted in Saudi Arabia.
That's right. And though this fight might not be taking place in Saudi Arabia, my thing is this. I know you're one of the people that thinks that Turki Alalshikh is somehow colluding with Terence Crawford, that he really likes Terence Crawford. But I think Turki Alalshikh is treating him that way because he wants to court him. But I don't think necessarily he wants to coddle him. What do you think? Well, what's your exact position on all this?
I really think that he's a big fan of Crawford the same way he is of AJ. Because the only guys that have been any kind of taken care of, I would say, were AJ and I wouldn't say Crawford, dude, because I don't think this is a good matchup for him. I think this is going to be a really hard fight. The only other guys I really seemed like they were done a favor might have been Vargas and Fury against Ngannou, right? But I mean, that's debatable. But the way he talks about Crawford, the way he big ups him, the way he's parading him around, has him on a little studded leash, a little pearl leash, sending him to WWE, this and that. And then the way he even lied, bro, about the sellout in the arena in LA, because I seen he released a tweet saying, "Oh, Crawford's a megastar. We sold out the arena," and I went to go look up the tickets. They're cheaper than ever, bro.
All right, so they're slashing the prices. Is what they're doing. That old tactic. Yeah. So why is he?
So it's like lying, it's like he's capping. He's capping, as the young folks would say. He's capping for Crawford, bro.
Well, he doesn't wear a cap. He wears a turban. So he's what? Turbaning it up or turboing up? He's turbo.
He's ragging it. He's head ragging it, BDA.
But that's the other thing, though, is I don't want to get political, biblical, religion, but isn't there a clause in the Quran or something that they can lie as long as it benefits Islam?
That might be in the Talmud.
Or the Hadiths.
I don't know
right?
about. I don't know.
Well,
About
the Talmud. Wait. The Talmud's Jewish. Anyway, listen, we're getting way ahead of ourselves here. Let me just put the link here or the photo that Sobers is. So he says this is Sobers replying to Turkey. He says, "You sure about that, my boy?" I don't know why. Sobers, when he's on Twitter, he turns urban all of a sudden. But anyway, yeah, you can see. What are we looking at here, Sobers?
all those purple, light purple spaces are where you can still buy tickets at.
Whoa!
So
really?
they're not sold out. Yeah. And if you scroll down, you'll see. I just searched for 2 tickets, right? But if you scroll down, you can see the ticket prices, bro.
Yeah. 166. That's way above your price range. But I'm glad you looked into this anyway. But I wanted to say
too much.
No, but I wanted to say, so you're saying the gray ones are the ones that are sold out. So all the back ones, people snatch those up real quick. There's here on the left side, you can see some sort of gray areas as well. So ultimately, yeah, all the good seats are still available, or some of the, not all of them, I should say, but some of them. Wow.
Right. No, but I mean, just, basically anywhere you want to sit except for probably the VIP spots. You know what I mean? The box areas.
Right. I see we've got Frank coming in here. Frankie boy, can you hear me? See, the
salute BDA.
Hey, what's up, man?
Salute.
What's up? Frank, what are your thoughts on the Turki Alalshikh connection with Crawford? Do you think he's got a special heart and he's placing his heart for Crawford, or you think it's going to be on the level?
He's got more than a special heart there, BDA.
What does
more
that mean?
Than a special heart there.
You think you're saying he's got a big? You're saying he's got a big
special
swollen.
Heart on.
You're saying he's got a big swollen purple thing in store there for Crawford?
I'm just saying they both like to wrestle, and there's tons of pictures of that guy holding hands. I mean, he likes to hold hands. I don't have a problem with it. Nothing wrong with it, but
21st century,
not what
right?
I do with my boys. Huh?
21st century, I said.
Yeah, it's new age. You know what time it is.
It's a brave new world.
Exactly.
Well,
I don't have a problem with it, but yeah, this Turkey guy, it looks like he has a look in his eye. You know, that kind of like look. You're like, I don't want to drop. I don't want to take it. I got to wear my towel around this guy.
Well, this is a photo that Sober sent me. It's a bit of a compilation vignette of the Sheik holding hands with. I mean, that one.
That's what I'm saying, bro. There's too many signs, BDA.
Look at Joshua's face. He looks like the devil.
He's uncomfortable, bro. He's uncomfortable.
He looks like the devil. Look at his face. Look at those eyebrows.
You think he's being possessed by gay demons?
I think he's being possessed by ancient Arab demons. Yeah, pre-biblical.
What are they called? Are they called the jinn? That's what they call the jinn, right?
Jinn.
Yeah, that's right, the jinn. Deloya, interestingly enough, Deloya is the only one that's not getting. He might be a little bit too freaky for even the Turk. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, Turkey looks a little standoffish. Like, whoa, I don't want to give him any what do you call a green light?
The green light.
BDA, they say that's a cultural thing, bro, but I feel like that's a dominating thing. I don't know, bro, because they can say that only happened in Saudi Arabia. I've seen that happen, bro. And then I've seen it happen here in America, and it wasn't like this is my best friend, you know what I mean, type of thing.
Right.
I've seen the exact same thing.
You're saying that Turki Alalshikh is making Frank Warren here and Joshua and Dana White. You're saying he's making them wash his drawers.
He's showing dominance,
and
right?
When they're dirty. No, he is showing dominance. I do feel like that's what that is. He's like, follow me. Yeah, you're smile.
Sean Gibbons is in there too, by the way, there in the left, in the far right there. And the interesting thing about Sean Gibbons is the guy's probably like, 60-something years old, and he still has that 1998 haircut. I mean, come on, man. It's time to change it up, man. Sean. Join the 21st century.
He looks like Night at the Roxbury. That
guy. Except, yeah, but if he goes
and he literally pops that gum. You're like, all in your ear.
But if he goes to a club with the Turk, what type of club is it going to be at?
It's going to be the Gothic Castle.
It's going to be the rubber room.
By invite only.
The Mine Shaft. There used to be a New York club called the Mine Shaft. I read about it. It was in the 1970s. It was called the Mine Shaft, and it was just the the most horrific things you could imagine. Like it was like in a warehouse, I think, in the meatpacking district, no pun intended. And apparently there were different floors, and each level, it was like Dante's Inferno. Each level lower, it just got more and more depraved. It was absolutely insanity in there.
Oh, apparently BDA, or you never been there, or what?
It was in the 1970s. I wasn't in New York in the 70s.
Oh, okay, my bad. You're in Vietnam, my bad.
By the way, this is the music that you hear when Turki Alalshikh takes you to a club. You know, you're thinking, oh, we're going to get some girls, blah, blah, and then this comes along. Time to put a champagne cork in your ass, man. Otherwise, things are going to get hectic, if you know what I mean. All right, so where are we at then with the predictions? Because I don't know if we got all of you guys' predictions. Frank, I don't think we got your prediction. What do you think for the main event?
Crawford should win this pretty easily, handily. That's what the betting odds say. Everybody's predicting it. I haven't seen one person predict Madrimov. If you ask my personal opinion, the way they hype this guy up, he should knock him out within 3 rounds. I mean, this guy has 10 fights. I don't want to hear about all this. All these accolades. He literally has 10 fights, and that should count for something. He's big and strong though. But yeah, Crawford within 9. That should be where the money's at.
Hey, Frank, have you seen the way he does the push-ups though?
Madrimov?
Yeah, bro. Like, I'm being funny, but for real, have you seen him? He's real athletic dude, bro.
I've seen that.
Here, I'll try to put it in the chat so maybe BDA can show it.
Now, I will say this, man. He has 10 fights, but because here's my thing, man. I remember when Ryan Garcia was going to fight Devin Haney. And yeah, I picked Devin Haney to win, especially after the weigh-in when Garcia blew the weight. That compounded with the insanity. I said, okay, this guy ain't winning. But I gave him a better chance than most people were. Most people I remember were saying, if you're picking Ryan Garcia, you're going to be disappointed, blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking, how much of Madrimov's fights have you guys seen?
I watched a lot of the highlights. Look, he's fast and he's strong. He throws punches from all angles. He looks dynamic, but against, subpar competition, right? Like, that's the measuring stick. I mean, Crawford gets this credit for when you bring up his championship bouts in Dongo and Postal. And I rewatched the Postal fight. He was running. He didn't sit still for a minute. But who did Madrimov fight? I heard you say Vladimir Hernandez, but we haven't seen him against a championship. Has he even beat a champion in his career yet?
Well, listen, I don't know how he got his championship, but that I've seen most of his fights, and I don't know which one he was for the title because I don't focus too much on these vacant titles, whatever. But I do know this: Michel Soro and Kurbanov, he dominated those dudes. He was dominating Soro in the rematch, and that only lasted 3 rounds before a headbutt ended matters. But the Kurbanov fight, I mean, he looked solid in that one. He outclassed and beat up an undefeated Kurbanov. So that's why a lot of experts are looking at this fight and thinking, whoa, it's not going to be easy for Crawford. Also, here's the other thing. I was on Thunderdomes yesterday, and I checked, I was re-listening to some of it today just to refresh my memory. And I saw in the comment section, somebody said, because I brought up the Postal fight from Crawford, how he didn't look all that great, or as great as people make it out to be in that fight. Somebody said, why is BDA judging Crawford based off of that fight that happened 8 years ago? And I'm thinking, first of all, I brought up other fights too, in which he's looked bad. So I'm not just solely relying on a fight from 8 years ago. But it's a fight. The reason why I brought it up is because, again, people say that Crawford is a pound-for-pound marvel. And they were saying that before the Spence fight. And before the Spence fight, he only really had 2 big wins on his resume, Postal and Porter. And I said, look, if he really was the guy that people make him out to be, this destroyer, this guy who dominates everybody, he would have done better against Postal. The argument that some people bring is, yeah, but look at Josh Taylor and Ramirez. They struggled against Postal because they got hit a lot. Yeah, they got hit a lot, but guess what? They also got a lot of hitting done themselves. Whereas Crawford was just tapping him. Two knockdowns were scored against Postal. One of them shouldn't have been. He was cuffing Postal behind the head. The second one was legit. But other than that, he was just tapping the dude. So that's why I bring him up. So, people say Madrimov's overrated, he's untested, blah, blah, blah. But how good is Crawford? Especially since, guys, you got to consider the outside the ring factors. He hasn't fought since last year. A whole year he's been off. He's going to be 37 next month. He's fighting a younger guy who's more acclimated at this weight. So, guys, are you sure you don't want to give Madrimov at least an inkling of a chance in this fight?
Yeah, I give him a chance. I mean, like I said, he's gonna be probably the strongest, fastest opponent that Crawford's fought, at least within the last 6 years. You mentioned Crawford's inactivity. I mean, he's got 6 fights in 6 years. I mean, I don't even count the Avanesian fight. So what? One big fight in 3 years. This is their king. You know, that's how I look at things. Like, you can't tell me this guy is the king and he's fought one big fight in 3 years.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. That's another good point there. 2020, one fight. 2021, one fight. 2022, one fight. 2023, one fight. This year, you figure he's only going to have one fight again, unless, because I think I'd heard that Canelo's fight against Berlanga was going to be some sort of tune-up before he squeezed in another fight at the end of this year. But I'd be surprised, man, because Canelo, you never know. What happens if he gets injured in the Berlanga fight? Or not even injured, just, you know, something's hurting too much and he can't get rid of that pain. He says, you know, fuck it, I'm not going to fight in December, especially not against Crawford. Just to make sure, because I do think Canelo beats Crawford, but I don't know if he wants to take a chance of going in there injured.
No, of course not. He's just, Canelo's motivated by money. That's my opinion. So if they pay him enough, he'll definitely fight in December. But it's going to be up to Crawford. If Crawford gets roughed up, he's used to fighting one time a year. I don't see him. Is he going to fight right back in December? This guy fights once a year. This is his MO.
That's right.
Yo, the more I think about this fight, the more I give Madrimov a chance. Just like you were saying, BDA, Crawford's an older dude. He's kind of inactive. You know, when we seen Gallo, when he fought, what's his name, Bam Rodriguez, we're like, man, what were we saying? Like, this dude hasn't fought for like a year and a half, and of course he looks like shit. Of course he got beat up. You know, you got to stay sharp. And this dude, Crawford, he's a guy that stays in the gym, right? But he's not competing, and you got to stay sharp. Madrimov is probably going to be the hardest fight of his career, dude, because it's a guy who's finally going to be, you know, heavier than him. And even though Crawford still has the length and everything, but like I was saying, bro, the more I think about this, the more I give Madrimov a chance, because outside of the heavyweights, even the heavyweights, bro, he match makes, dude, and he gets these guys beat up. The guys he likes, he gets them beat up. You know, so it might be another cherry pig gone wrong. I feel like he's trying to help Crawford because he's a fan of him and he wants to give him a belt and he's trying to get him that Canelo fight. But this guy Madrimov, he's explosive. And you're bringing up the Michael Soros fight. I keep looking back at the Eric Walker fight, right? The one he went 12 rounds with the dude. And yes, it was a couple years ago, bro. But I was looking at that fight. That was a hard fight for Madrimov. The way they were exchanging, you know, I was looking at that and I was like, bro, I don't think Crawford could do that with this dude. I don't think they could just trade hooks. You know, I don't think Crawford can do that with these guys at this weight class and not with this guy, Madrimov. And the way Madrimov moves, he's unorthodox and explosive. He has pretty good feet. So he'll do some wild shit that you don't see, and he'll be able to explode on you. Crawford has good defense. He's not the best defensive boxer of the generation. You know, so he'll get hit. He'll get tagged, bro. And I think at 154, you know, we seen him fight Spence. He looked great in that fight. But, you know, Spence, like a homeboy who called in the other day, El Tanque, shout out to him, bro. He's a crash test dummy, bro. You know, anybody else who that happened to, they wouldn't be working, bro. They would be collecting a check at the house, you know, for workers' comp. So he beat up this dude. Go ahead, BJ.
Yeah, I wanted to say this. Look, Crum in the chat says, yeah, but Crawford's knocked out everybody. And yes, I you know, he deserves credit for that because a stoppage is a stoppage. I don't think people understand how hard it is to get a stoppage in the professional ranks. I mean, you're fighting guys that are highly trained. They train to avoid punishment. They train to avoid just precisely that knockouts. And the fact that a guy like Crawford can go in there and score, what is it now, 11, 12 straight knockouts, even though he hasn't been against the, you know, sensational pound-for-pound opposition, he's still knocking them out. But my point was, prior to the knockouts, what's happening? He's getting hit a lot for a guy that's supposed to be pound for pound. And again, I reiterate something I mentioned in a video over at BDA Clips, or secondary channel. Of course, because people say, well, BDA, come on, everybody gets hit. It's boxing. I understand that. But that's why we qualify certain fighters as being better defensive than others. That's why we have the qualification of defensive master. because that means it's a guy that gets hit way less than other fighters. We can distinguish between a guy that gets hit more than another. So let's not use the cop-out of, well, everybody gets hit, so that's the whiteout, that erases it all. Crawford gets hit a lot. Chin up in the air. He's been stunned before. Avenisian stunned him a little bit in the first round. And he's fighting a guy who can crack with both hands. And that was essentially my point here, that Crawford, yeah, he's getting those wins at the end with the knockdown, but prior to that, they're very close competitive fights. He's not dominating the opposition. For a guy that's supposed to be top 2, or some people even still have him as the best fighter in the world, defensively, it's still that hole. And one of the reasons why he makes it work is he is smart, he hits hard, he's got quick hands, and he knows how to place his shots properly. He's got a bunch of things going for him. And those things make up for his lack of defense. That's all I'm saying. But people, I don't know, people seem to get in they really get angry when you say that. You say, hey, Crawford gets hit a lot. Well, you know, but he scores. And I'm not saying that Crom did this, but,
it's boxing, though. It's a fight, though, BDA. It's a fight, though.
Exactly. I mean, listen, he wasn't dominating Benavidez. He wasn't dominating Kell Brook. He wasn't dominating Sean Porter. He certainly wasn't dominating Avenisian, although I had him slightly ahead. Although I know Aldo, who was on Thunderdomes last night, said he actually had Avenisian ahead. You know, he against Gamboa. I mean, I know that was an eternity. That was about 10 years ago. But I'm telling you, there's a pattern there of fights where he's actually, you know, at best it's even. I don't know, man. I mean, I can't remember too many other fighters who's supposed to be number 1 pound for pound going through that type of hardship. And by the way, let me just read a couple of super chats here before we continue. Shout out to Double L for his contribution with the super chat. He says, "Salute, best show, Madrimov by decision." And he puts the gay flag, the Saudi Arabian flag, and the trans flag in there. So shout out to Double L. I don't know what he's trying
Amazing.
to I don't know what he's trying to tell us, Double L. Maybe his name should be Double D, which stands for double dick. Shout out to JXV88 for his contribution with the super chat. He says, Madrimov is a counterpuncher's dream. Easy but win. Well, that's the other thing a lot of people are bringing up, that Madrimov is a guy who leaps in, and that should play right into Crawford's hand. So we shall see. I do tend to agree with that. Shout out to Jay Nels for his contribution to the super chat. I haven't seen him in a while. Shout out to Jay Nels, who says, boxing doesn't sell in the States anymore. This event should have been held in the UK if they wanted to make more money. All right, shout out to Jay Nels. That's a good point, though, because why is this fight taking place in the United States? Because, especially in California, where Crawford's never really sold anywhere outside of Omaha. That's usually where he draws people. Now, all of a sudden, they're putting him in California, and they're wasting a very good card in there. I dare say, or am I crazy, guys, or is Jay Nels correct that if they would have held it in England, they would have actually been able to pack more people in there, despite an American and Uzbek guy being in the main event?
I don't think he would have found slash prices the day before the event. If it was in the UK, to be honest. They do sell out pretty quick.
Yeah, they're enthusiastic. I mean, they probably would have put a UK guy on the card.
I thought LA was like a bigger fight city. You know, I thought they liked boxing more.
But nobody knows who Madrimov is. That's my thing. I mean, there's nobody know who this guy is. Nobody. Madrimov
might be like a Isaac Cruz kind of brought this in my mind. He said that Mean Machine was Crawford's hardest fight. Madrimov something like Mean Machine, but he's bigger, stronger, more athletic, more explosive. You know what I mean? He's him on steroids, basically.
Yeah, he passes the eye test. You know, we always talk about the eye test. He definitely passes the eye test. It's still, though, 11 fights. I just can't get over 11 fights. I mean,
and like that second super chat was saying that, you know, he's a counterpuncher's dream. His style is a double-edged sword, right? It's a very sharp double-edged sword because, you know, like I was saying earlier, his unorthodox moves, his explosiveness, his explosivity, like Cotto would say, can catch Crawford off guard and he can really hurt him. But also it puts him out of position, and if Crawford's patient and he reacts fast enough, he can punish him, you know, brutally. Right, so maybe someone who maybe wouldn't punch it as hard at this weight class could hurt you because you're so out of position. So it's like, you know, it's a double-edged sword. But I think Madrimov's going to hurt him. I think Crawford's going to fight on the back foot this fight. I don't think we're going to see him, you know, coming forward and being that killer that, you know, at 147 that people are recognizing him as.
You know, you mentioned explosivity. That's what Cotto used to say. Another malapropism that's memorable to me was Emmanuel Stewart used to say, they say those are crisp shots, right? Like those are compact, snappy shots. He used to say crispy shots. The guy that's landing the more crispy shots, I'm thinking, oh boy, someone's got chicken on their mind. I can tell. But that's the other thing, man. You're right though. It's a double-edged sword, and I think Crawford. That's what I was thinking. I think he's gonna dance around a little bit. And one of the points that came up on Tony Domes yesterday was that Madrimov, one of the exceptions was the Kubranov fight, but for the most part, he tends to slow down a little bit past the sixth, and he gets a little sloppy, and he clinches a lot too. Eastern Europeans usually don't, Central Asians, whatever he is, usually don't clinch a lot. He clinches. He's been clinching a lot in some of his fights. So I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, what happens if Crawford knows, okay, this guy is a front runner. Let me let him blow his load a little early, and then I start pressing him. And I don't know if Madrimov's going to be able to handle that heat. That's the one thing that's the X factor for me. The inexperience that Frank talked about.
I'm sorry to interrupt. No, because you mentioned, people use this cliche all the time, ring IQ. I hate that cliche, ring IQ. It's like, a fight's a fight, that's what you train for. But as far as that's what I'm saying, in Madrimov, when I watch big fights, sometimes you see guys with less experience, they get a deer in the headlights. They freeze in the moment. And I hate when that happens. That could be Madrimov, just the experience alone. You mentioned fighting on the inside. He doesn't really have an inside game. Not that I've seen.
Well, it's not just
you got to watch the Eric Walker fight, bro. They're exchanging on the inside, dude.
Yeah, he's got some good stabbing shots to the body. I give him credit for those. But it's not so much the freezing that I'm afraid of for him. In fact, it's the opposite. I think if things don't go his way, he might get too wild, and that's going to get him caught. What I'm worried about is his stamina. That's the one thing. Like if Crawford starts throwing him different looks that he's never seen before, little feints, Madrimov all of a sudden finds that, oh shit, this guy's harder to hit than I expected, and then he's hitting me. That can create a lot of stress. Then Crawford turns it on. That creates even more stress. Before you know it, this guy's got less stamina than he wanted. He ends up flopping and folding. That's what can happen to these unproven fighters. That's what I'm worried for Madrimov.
Yeah, exactly, BDA. What's he gonna do when Terrence Crawford starts shaking his ass in there? He's not gonna be able to catch him, bro.
Listen. Hey, by the way, fellas, we got the phone lines open in case anybody wants to call in, make some last-minute predictions or tweaks to their predictions. Yeah, I know a lot of guys out there like to tweak. They're always tweaking, so make sure you tweak over here where it's safe, and we'll take care of you. All right. But yeah, so wait a minute. So Sobers, you were expecting Crawford to fight in the ass style in this fight? Running around the ring, shaking his ass.
Yes, like the way he fought against Beltran, the way he fought against Postol. He's gonna stay away. He's not gonna try to. I don't think he's gonna try to hurt this guy. I think he's gonna try to decision him as soon as Madrimov lands a clean punch, bro. Because he's already out of his weight class. I know it's happened a long time ago, dude, and I guess maybe it was the weight. That he was losing at 135. But if Gamboa hurt you, bro, and you had to hold on for dear life, bro, you're vulnerable. And I kind of really am pulling for Crawford in this fight, dude, because I want to see him fight Canelo. But I'm getting more and more nervous the closer the fight comes, dude.
Yeah, you really wanna see that fight. Why is that? Why do you want to see that fight so badly?
Hey, BDA, remember before it was popular, BDA, I was calling for that fight. Now it's popular now, but when it wasn't, dude, I was like, I want to see it.
I remember when I was on your show once, and we had your good friend Benzo in there, and he wanted to see Benavidez Canelo. You wanted to see Canelo Crawford. You were like, fuck that fight. You were saying, I hope that Benavidez fight never happens. So,
and look, lo and behold, BDA, what's going on? It might never happen.
Exactly. There you go. So somebody's been prophetic in all of this. By the way, before we move on to the phone lines here, because people are calling in, shout out to Jay Nels for his contribution with the super chat. No, excuse me, Sursayer. Shout out to Sursayer. He says, BDA, salute. I'm getting ready for a night out with my side Jaina. I got the moco de gorila on my hair and drip the fuck out. Arriba Mexico y puro 1488. Ah, come on. Why does he have to go with that number? What does that number even... I've never figured out what that number means, but I know the connotation and it's not good. I'm not going to say what it means here, but shout out to Sursayer with his Jaina. He's going to be on the lowrider down there in the streets of I don't know where he lives. I thought he lived in the Appalachians.
He's in Georgia. He's in Georgia, but he's on the other side.
But I thought, he said he lives in the mountains, right? In the.
Yeah, he's down by the Appalachians with the
go.
real country white boys. You know what I mean?
Right. With good old boys.
That's where you can find the meeting to that number, BDA.
Yeah, probably that makes a lot of sense. All right, listen, let's go to. We got a couple of phone calls here. Let's take them, and hopefully, maybe you guys let me know if you can hear them properly. But do note that there's a delay between you guys and my connection with the caller. So there's like about 2-second delay between what you say and what they can hear. All right, just be mindful of that. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to 410. 410, you're in the air. 410, what's on your mind?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. What's up?
Yeah, you know how the fighters say during fight week, man, I'm just ready to fight. They don't want to talk. That's where I'm at with this card. I'm just ready to see it, man. You know, it's just lots of talk. Everybody chiming in. That's cool. Regarding the main event, I don't know, man. You know, I went and watched Madrimov. I watched all of his highlights, and I did watch the fight with a black guy named Eric Walker. That guy was putting hands all over him, man. This guy's got a very, very sloppy style, Madrimov. I mean, he's strong. Anyone can see he's strong, and he's typically aggressive. But the way he lunges with both hands, to me, is going to put him in peril against Bud Crawford. If Bud Crawford is still the fighter that he's been, because the reality is, as we all know, he's pushing 37. He's had, 5 fights in 5 years. He's moving up, and this isn't his first time moving up. This is his 4th time moving up, which is a pretty big deal. And so there, to me, is the intrigue. It's more about what is Crawford at this point, because Madrimov, you know, he makes a lot of mistakes, and he gets hit a good bit. And Bud Crawford, he gets hit too, but I wouldn't say he gets hit a lot. I heard you say he gets hit a lot. I wouldn't go along and say he gets hit a lot, but I prefer a fighter like Bud Crawford who he doesn't sacrifice his offense for defense. So he's willing to get hit some to get his shots off. So he does get hit. He's no defensive genius, but I think he probably could be if he concentrated on that, but then he'd be boring, and then he'd be Shakur Stevenson, you see. So that's what I like about Bud Crawford. He's got a mean streak in him, man. He gets in there to fight. But I do agree with your co-host there that in this fight, I think it would be smart for him, especially early on, to not run, because I ain't never seen him run, never. But it would be smart for him to use lateral movement and look for counter-punching opportunities, and let Madrimov get a little bit of the bull worked out of him over 3 rounds, and see where you go from there. I don't think, trying to be a badass with this guy, that's the wrong thing, because that works right into Madrimov's what he does. He's a physical fighter, and he wants you to stand there and trade with him, and see if he can get the better of you. But on the flip side, I think Madrimov, I think it might be a good idea for him to go out there and try to get something done early. Test the legs of the veteran. Test to see if the inactivity has caused, some ring rust and things like that. And really try to get, you never know in those first 3 rounds, if he can get to Crawford with something and buzz him or hurt him, that can change the complexion of the whole entire fight, you see. And so he's just got to be careful not to expend too much energy, so that in case whatever he's trying to accomplish there doesn't work, you still got 8-9 rounds to fight. So it's a gamble, and it's a chess move, but it seems to me a good idea to go out there and jump on the veteran and see if you can really impose yourself on him. And like I say, maybe if you can get a knockdown, or more poignantly, get him buzzed, get him hurt. Now he's going to know for the rest of the fight, hey, this guy is big and strong, and he can punch. And you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm getting at?
Absolutely. Yeah, look, those are some good points right there, man. We'll see. All I want to see is a competitive fight. I don't think that's too much to ask, especially since it's a pay-per-view. Anything else you want to say, Jerry, before we move on?
Well, just on the heels of that, this is a killer card. It's not the best card I've ever seen. I've been watching boxing a long time, but it does my heart good to know, you know, to start to see pay-per-view cards where they're actually fucking worth it, man, where there's like 3-4 really good matchups, you know what I mean?
Right.
This is what you don't mind paying for a card like this, you know, as opposed to Keith Thurman versus, what's his name, Barrios, you know, and paying $80 for that, and with a shit undercard. This is a real pay-per-view, and so congrats to the Sheik or whoever he is that's putting it on, because this is what we need to help us get American boxing back somewhere close to what it was.
Absolutely. Great. Well said. Well said. All right. Well, listen, Jerry, thank you for your call.
Thank you, buddy.
Call back next time. Take it easy out there.
Okay. Thanks, bro.
All right. That was Jerry right there saying he's happy with the card. I think most hardcore... Yeah.
Losing?
What?
I just want to give Jerry, probably already jumped off, but I hear him on the Boxing Voice and Ring IQ. He's all over the YTBC, bro. Shout out to him.
He's all right.
They call him NPR. Do they call him? Is he the one they call NPR?
That's the Zodiac Killer, I think.
Okay, well, first of all, I don't call him Zodiac Killer. That's people in the chat. But yeah, the people you often mistake him for NPR. This is Jerry, and NPR is another guy. Different people. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like.
Jerry knows his boxing.
He does, and he's not afraid to criticize fighters and praise them when it comes time to do so. Fellas, don't forget to hit the like. Really helps us out. We're just shooting having a little fun here. Last minute comments on tomorrow's card. Let's go to another phone call. Let's go to 336. 336, you're on the air. 336, what's on your mind?
Yo, Tiny BDA, so I hear what you say, but sometimes you occasionally cut out for maybe, 2 to 3 thousandths of a second, so the sentence still forms. Is my audio good? Am I cutting out? Or
You're sounding perfect. You sound
perfect.
I'm
on AirPods right now.
Yeah, you sound perfect.
Yeah,
you sound well.
Just a little bit slower, though, bro. You're talking hella fast.
All right, so this is what's up. So my official prediction is Crawford will win 116, 112, 117, 111, unanimous decision. Now, there's a couple variables in the fight I want to talk about. One being, as Crawford is as great as he is, everyone he's fought at welterweight has been out the door and or not elite, i.e. Jeff Horn, shit like that. Sean Porter, good fighter, but not elite, right? So his resume is untested, and the fact that he's fighting a guy with 11 pro fights, and this is arguably the best win of his career, even though Madrimov does have a decent resume. He has a win against Soro, who's a legit top 10 fighter, and Kurbanov, who's on probably the lower end of the top 10 or top 15. So he's got a better resume than Booth Amos. I know a mutt goes in there like the shit on Crawford. Bro, I'm going to just say what it is. Madrimov is more tested than fucking Booth is, without question. But he lunges in a little bit, like we've all seen, And it does look like in the open workouts he's shortened up his punches a little bit, and he's not extending as much like that Crip style. So as great as Crawford is, he's very vulnerable to get hit. We know in the Brook fight, personally, I gave Brook the first 3 rounds before he got knocked out with a fucking jab in the 4th round, coming down in weight, dehydrated, all that shit. We know how that goes. Crawford just always catches these guys when they're out, on their way out the fucking door. But one thing I want to look at is because we know Crawford's going to start out as a southpaw. People like to look, he's a switch hitter, but in all actuality, he did improve his jab, as you had stated, BDA in the Spence fight, and it is quite powerful. Most of his power comes from his right hand, whether it be from the southpaw lead hand with the check right hook, trying to, catch that jab over the top and shoot his own, peel the jab, shoot his own right hook, was what you would say his orangutan arms, his very long arms for the weight class, and or shoot the jab. So what I'm interested to see is if Crawford or if Madrimov is able to land his jab and or straight right hand enough to the body or head, throwing that 2 up and down in combination, if he can get Crawford out of his southpaw stance and force him to fight orthodox, then we have an interesting fight where both of these guys at orthodox, I believe they're going to clash on the inside. However, both of these fighters are not shown to be elite inside fighters because they've never had to, right? Based on the level of competition they fought and based on style matchups. So I'd like to see what happens on the inside if there's a fight that breaks out where we're throwing 6, 7, 8-inch punches. You would like to think you'd have to favor Crawford a little bit because Jimmy said Crawford does disguise his punches very, very well. So there's a lot of variables going into this fight. He's been off a year layoff, like I said. And, what if Madrimov can break Crawford out of the southpaw stance in the first 3 rounds? How does that fight go? Joel Diaz says they got plans A, B, and C. We're going to find out. And we've seen with Eric Walker, you know what I mean? I watched that fight. He's a back foot crip, and he gave, Madrimov problems. But this is his third, fourth fight. And it looks like he's improved a bit since then. I'd say quite a bit. And Crawford's always been hittable. For a guy that's rated as high as he is on the pound-for-pound list, I have him in the top 5. If he beats Madrimov, especially conventionally, I will have him legitimately in the top 3. Because the reason I'd say that is everyone he's beat has been out the door. Madrimov is still going to have fights after Terence Crawford because he's only 29 years old. He's not coming off of a fucking, shot to the kneecap, coming down in weight, considering retirement, flipping his fucking spider Ferrari like Smith. This is the first guy he's fought in his career that's his size, in and around his size, that's going to come, to win. And because of that, I think it's going to be a great fight. I do expect Crawford to win. And if he wins impressively, that's the kind of performance that is top 3 pound-for-pound material. Forget the undefeated record. Forget the names. You have to think of when he fought these names and who these fighters were at the time they fought him. And it's really not that impressive. And these people, picking up this Crawford fight and all this shit, trying to bag Crawford, they just want to see Canelo pull up another fucking mismatched cherry, 2 weight classes above. You got guys like Billy. It looks like the David Benavidez fight isn't going to happen, right? And, that was a fantasy fight. Canelo never wanted to fight him. We already know what that is. That's just the reality. You don't have to like it, but it's just the truth. There's money in that fight. There's a lot of money in that fight. Canelo just declined because he's at a point in his career where he doesn't believe he's good enough to be the very best in his division or in and around his division. So he'd rather pull up guys and wait to make easy money because Crawford is easy money for Canelo Alvarez. Anyone trying to say, that's a competitive fight,
Dora,
sorry, man, but you're really not motivated.
You're going from point
they're
to
just
point.
lying. Hold up, before I let you go, BDA, before I let you go, one last thing.
It's a diatribe at this point. I know you got a lot to say, but you gotta know when to keep it relevant to what we're talking about. So you're expecting Crawford to win tomorrow?
But yeah, Crawford's going to win. But what I'm saying is the people that are trying to back Crawford are only doing this to big up Canelo Alvarez because they know it's a total cherry mismatch bum fight, and it's not a fight that's competitive. I want to see Canelo versus guys like Billy because it looks like Morrell, Benavidez are up in weight. Why not fight a former Olympian who's in shape, has great volume, power puncher in your weight class?
All roads lead to Canelo.
Dora, Canelo,
he's a top 3 opponent.
Canelo's never called him out, right? Like, Canelo never called him out.
That's not the point. That doesn't matter. It's about fighting the best in your division. If any other fighter that was the former undisputed champion who had a reign of undisputed for over almost 3 years, who didn't have one win in the top 3 in the Ring magazine, they'd be getting shit. Imagine if Inoue didn't defend against a top 3 fighter in his division for 3 or 4 years. You know how much shit he'd get for that?
Well,
but
maybe the reason why. Listen, we gotta go.
They grab his nuts and they suck on his freckled balls.
I got other callers, but maybe the reason why that fight never happened is because Benavidez' side, maybe they never wanted it. I mean, they never appealed to the WBC to enforce that mandatory.
That's bullshit. No, because the sanctioning bodies are supposed to mandate the fight. It's not on the fighter to mandate the fight. That's more bullshit. These Canelo dick watchers push and BDA.
But hold on, Dora, real quick. Dora. If the fighters don't mandate, the fights dictate, then why did the WBC give him 3 weeks to decide what he wanted to do? They're telling him, hey, you tell us what you want to do.
They sent the fucking letter.
There you go. So listen, Dora, man, there's no. Listen, Dora, you're getting too. Oh my God, look at this guy getting worked up. Dora, I got other callers. This ain't the Canelo show. I know you love talking about Canelo. We gotta move on, man. All right. So shout out to you.
No.
We'll reserve another. We'll do another. We'll do a special episode. We'll do a special episode just for you. We'll do a special episode just for you. Oh, jeez, I gotta go. How do I get out of this nightmare? Whenever it is with Dora, he won't stop. He wants to debate on free will one day. So okay, let's talk about free will. Every time I make a point, he interrupts. So he's like, no, you can't talk with the guy. I'm sorry, man. So anyway, he said enough. We gave him as much time as we could. We got to move on here. Let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 914. 914, you're on the air. 914, what's on your mind?
Okay, so the speaker before was actually speaking a lot of sense as far as I'm concerned. And
here we go.
Something which boxing fans are sick and tired of. These so-called, well, I can't even say so-called, these esteemed, these popular, well-known fighters never fight each other, and it's a complete and utter disgrace. I've heard. No, it's true. I've heard that Turki Alalshikh.
Didn't you have Charlo beating Canelo?
Hold on, Sobers, hold on. Let him finish. Then we can get into the back and forth. But go ahead, Cole.
Okay, my bad.
Wow, that was such a rude interruption, but I'll continue. Okay, so I've heard that Turki Alalshikh was considering buying up all of the promotional houses from Matchroom, Top Rank, Golden Boy, etc. Maybe boxing needs every fighter to be under one roof, almost like the UFC, because the UFC is able to make the best fights no matter what. No matter what you say about the UFC as a business, a sport, etc., one thing that they do is they give their audiences, they give their fans the fights they want. Even the fights they didn't think were possible, they will bring the best of the best, and even if they have to go up weight classes, they will fight each other. What the hell is Canelo thinking about fighting Terence Crawford for? Why? This is a guy who has never been in your weight class before. Goodness knows if he even walks around at the weight he's supposed to fight you at, and you bring him up after he's in his 30s, he's at the tail end of his career. I mean, I don't understand what is going on. If it's a case that Canelo feels that at this point he does not want to face a challenge and he would like to fight Jake Paul, come out and say so. Come out and let us know exactly what is going on and what you're thinking. Because even if people dislike me saying this about Canelo, you have to understand one thing. He's got or had all of the belts until apparently he's been stripped because he did not face his mandatory Williams skull or something of that sort. But you have the belts. Why are you holding the belts hostage? Let the belts go. Let it be free. Let the belts be free and let people who truly fight with valor, honor, and rise to the challenge compete so that they can have the special dispensation of calling themselves a prize fighter, and the knowledge and the recognition of holding the championship belt shall go with them. Let them have that instead of holding on to the belt as if it's some kind of hostage situation.
Sobers?
Can I respond, BDA?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So first of all, when you're talking about honor, bro, he's dropping the IBF belt. So Skull and Shishkin are going to fight for that belt. If Benavidez stayed at 168, he could have potentially challenged. He could have potentially challenged for WBC, but he moved up officially at 175. So he's out of the talks for that, bro. And you're saying that UFC puts on the best fights, bro. In the heavyweight division, we've been waiting for John Jones versus Tom Aspinall for at least 2 years. And Dana White's defending him at every press conference. So no, he's ducking and dodging him, bro. And the CEO's like helping him. So that's not true what you're saying. And another thing, bro, I wanted to ask you, didn't you have Charlo versus Canelo? Didn't you have Charlo beating Canelo?
Caller? Are you still there?
Okay, so I am hello, can you hear me?
Go ahead, man.
Yes.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Can you hear me? All right. So what I'll say is, in regards to Williams skull facing someone else, the fact of the matter is that he should drop all of the belts. Canelo should drop all of the belts so that Benavidez, who is seen as essentially the real champion of that division, can fight someone else, whether it's Morel or whoever else, and we can find out who the true top dog in that division is, number one. Number two, stating that Dana White has been assisting John Jones in evading a real champion. First of all, like, John Jones is effectively, de facto, undefeated. He's not been defeated in the ring before. He just was disqualified once. He's also come up in weight too, and he had injuries. The reason he's not fought Stipe Miocic is because he had an injury. That's the only reason. Otherwise, he would have fought Stipe Miocic and then fought whoever else is deemed the appropriate challenger. Plus, UFC does not protect these guys. I don't like it. I'm not a particularly average watcher of UFC. One thing they do, they force everybody who is considered the best to fight who else is considered the next up and comer or the best in that division. And going on to did a certain caller pick Canelo to beat XYZ? Let's talk about the future. Let's talk about tomorrow. Stop talking about the past.
Listen, I agree with
Leave
the caller. Solvers, I agree with the caller. Why are you focusing too much on the past? It's about living. It's about living in the present and the future.
Then.
What's that?
So let me respond then, bro. Because he's saying David Morrell. David Morrell said he's chasing David Benavidez because he's scared of him. He went up to 175. So you say you don't watch a lot of UFC. I do, bro. It looks like you don't watch a lot of boxing either. David Morrell's fighting at 175 on Saturday. Okay? He's trying to fight David Benavidez. And John Jones, he did get injured, right? But then hold on, but then so did Stipe. So nothing was stopping John Jones from fighting then. Tom Aspinall has defended his interim belt. It was like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Dude, why in the UFC are their champion? Why are there interim champions in the UFC? Why are they defending their interim belts in the UFC if no one's ducking nobody?
Yeah, that's boxing shit.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, look, man, this always turns into Canelo bitch fest. Well, but, you know, I want to just answer this guy. Did he mind Charlo having a belt for 3 years? Earl Spence didn't defend his IBF for like 3 years. Crawford and Spence held up the division 147. Actually, Crawford has held up for like 2 years now because he took a whole year off holding these belts hostage. So why are not people outraged about those?
All right. Well, listen, caller.
They are more inactive. They are much more inactive than Canelo has been. Canelo has fought frequently enough that he doesn't have a sufficient excuse. I mean, if you look at the caliber of fighters, and look, you know,
but you're complaining about belts being hostage. You didn't mind Earl Spence holding his IBF for 3 years without defending it.
Let me express myself fully. Let me, I don't want you to derail my train of thought. Anyway, Canelo has done enough that he can easily bow out, and nobody is going to have any lamentable comment about him because he's achieved a lot in his career. But if you want to keep on fighting and hold the belt, then people will say, look, you know, you can't be holding these belts and then be claiming you're a champion, but not facing somebody who is effectively who should be the mandatory challenger and is perceived in the eyes of the public. Because at the end of the day, it's about what the public wants, what they perceive, because it's a sport and a business, and the desire of the fans is to see the best face the best. And when they do, this is the last point I'll make, you can look back and have the true appreciation and the love of the people. That's why Muhammad Ali is so loved until this day for what he did outside of the ring, but also for the fact that he truly gave his best inside the ring, and he showed no fear. He faced all challenges, and he even fought people when he was at the disadvantage of being unjustly prevented from fighting for 3 years. When he was getting older but still fighting younger fighters, he constantly pushed himself, constantly did things which show people that the true mettle of a man is their inner character and their ability to face challenges, no matter how daunting it seems and no matter what stage they are in their career, if you want to compete at the highest level of the sport. All right. Thank you very much. Have a great night. Thank you.
Thank you. You too. All right, listen, we got a lot of people very eager to talk here boxing, let me tell you, and it's a Crawford fight weekend, yet people want to talk about Canelo. I mean, I guess that's what happens when you're the face of boxing. You know?
It always happens.
All right, listen, let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 805. 805, you're on the air. 805, what's on your mind? Come on, man, go ahead. We know the game here.
Crawford go boom, 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 hook and jab.
All right, come on now, Mark. Speed it up, man. Listen.
All right, let's be real here. You know, someone's got to be the voice of reasoning, and some of these guys are just padding some of these guys' records and defending, John Jones of all fucking people defending John Jones. I don't even want to go there. Anyways, I mean, Do you guys really think Magnum Kurbinoff, is a better win than David Evanesian?
Yeah, I think so.
A lot, little, more or less?
Like half more.
You think so? No, I think it's around on the same level, to be honest, You got one guy who's like, 29, a few years older, and he has like a third of the professional fights compared to flat-footed boots. I don't know, man. I just don't. I don't think Madrimov is going to be that guy to beat Terrence.
Well, we shall see, man. That's what they're fighting tomorrow. But I mean, who did you pick to win Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney?
I can't even remember, to be honest.
Now, did you give Ryan Garcia did you give Ryan Garcia a shot?
I gave him a chance, but I don't know if he's going to be dedicated or not. That's the wild card.
Yeah, that was the wild card. And the wild card here is that we don't know how Madrimov is going to handle Crawford's experience. But if he can, I'm telling you, it should be an interesting fight. Should be an interesting fight for sure.
I don't think the Tumu Triple-G is going to be that guy to beat Crawford.
Well, we shall see, man. We shall see. Anything else, Amak?
Yeah, why the fuck was that guy defending John Jones of all people? The guy that hid under the fucking cage from USADA, the guy who did hit and runs, the guy that likes to eye poke and low blow, grab the fence, grab people's shorts, grab the top of the fence.
Didn't he also run into a pregnant woman? Or, I mean, he ran into some people, right, and then fled the scene?
Yes.
No, he did the same thing Davis did.
Well, there you go. Oh, wait. He ran into a pregnant woman as well, just like Tank Davis?
Yeah. He broke her arm.
Yeah.
What a coincidence.
Yeah. I think...
and he also came back to the scene, grabbed his drugs, and then ran away, reportedly.
Wowee. Yeah. There you go. So, yeah, that's why people go, they support, I support this guy. I'm a fan of his. Like, wow, would you like to live next to this guy? Because you think he's going to help you out if you're ever in an accident or something?
Yeah, maybe they were listening to Jimi Hendrix, the hit and run song. I don't know. Who knows?
All right.
On cocaine or something.
We got to go. I hope Madrimov puts up a good fight, and we'll talk later. Right, Amak? Take it easy out there.
All right, I got Crawford by stoppage. Madrimov is just not that guy that beats him.
Madrimov. All right, take it easy, man. All right, let's go to the phone call. Hey, don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. It really helps us out. Let's go to 301. 301, you're on the air. 301, what's in your mind?
BDA, what's up? It's Canelo fight week.
That's right.
I'm excited.
It appears so.
Everyone's talking about Canelo. It's Canelo fight week.
Oh, come on,
It's always
please.
Canelo fight week because Canelo, he owns the sport.
Please,
He's the landlord.
No.
As Joshua said, remember? He's the landlord.
He's the landlord.
Is this rubber ducky?
I wanted to actually... Sorry, what was that?
All right,
I thought you were the one guy that the rubber ducky.
He thinks you're a guy with a rubber ducky. I don't know what that means. I think there was a guy that called in once with a rubber ducky. That was a long time ago. But go ahead, man.
Well, I mean, just like people are going to bring this thing, the Benavidez thing, up all the time. I don't know if people are aware, but there's a reason why they don't petition the sanctioning body. And the sanctioning body won't order a fight unless the mandatory challenger actually petitions them. And that is, if they order a fight, it goes to purse bid. If you go to a purse bid, then you automatically, I think the default pay is like $25.75 if it goes to a purse bid.
Right.
Champion challenger. Those are the bylaws. You can look them up. So that's the case. Like, there's no mystery here why they didn't issue a challenge. For all his talk, and I'm sure Benavidez is earnest, but we know his promoter's a slimy dude. I mean, there's just no question about it. And they have him under contract, and however, they got him to re-sign, whether that was a horrible judgment error or they have something on him. He did re-sign with this dude like Ugovitz, which is, another reason why the fight never happened. And it's like the same story. I mean, we've seen this over and over again with Crawford. We've seen it with, Pacquiao and Mayweather before that. We've seen it with every single fight we wanted to see. We're still seeing this with Davis and Lomachenko. So why is it that when like the same promoter, right, or the same promoting body has the same track record of just throwing feces in your face, right? Maybe it's some kind of Stockholm syndrome or battered wife syndrome, or just, you go back because you got nowhere else to go, right? You just assume that the other guy's at fault when it's consistently the same people. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
You're right. You're absolutely right. That's why I've grown tired of talking about this issue. And then when you mentioned like why didn't Benavidez or the Benavidez side enforce the mandatory position? They go, Canelo's the ace side. He can make whichever fight he wants. Yeah, but let's not forget that what Benavidez is asking. Again, your point is that if they go to the purse bid, it's 25% automatically for Benavidez. That's why they don't want to enforce it. They want to negotiate. But then when they do negotiate, they're asking for TV rights. They're making up fake offers on Twitter and then erasing them when Eddie Reynoso calls them out. I've been aghast these last couple of months at how the Benavidez side consistently shows things, in actual facts, it's been proven that they're sabotaging the fight. And people just go, well, it's Canelo's fault. That just goes to show you, look, if you want to dislike Canelo, that's fine. You can dislike whoever you want. But when it starts clouding your judgment and you start ignoring things, I go, okay, then what's the point of discussing this if you're going to look at the facts and just going to ignore them?
Yeah. I think, to be fair, it comes from like the WBC and their antics that involved Canelo at middleweight before they screwed over Sergio Martinez. When they had Chavez win the title, they stripped him. And then they screwed him again with the Cotto situation, although that was just his choice. He fought with a bum knee and at a catchweight, I believe. And then they let the middleweight title once again be contested at 155 just to have some excuse not to fight Golovkin after that. And then he went on 2 more fights. So there is some history of Canelo having these kind of maneuvers, but he still fought him in a relatively speedy manner. And he didn't have to. He could have just contended at 154 until he was super old, right? So, I think he's like, in this case, though, I just wanted to point that out because I don't think people are aware. I think they have this idea in mind that the WBC is somehow like, engineering things behind the scenes and forcing Benavidez not to issue his challenge or something, or I don't know, ignoring it, but it's just impossible because there are formal mechanisms in play. And so it's just like, there's an obvious reason why this doesn't happen. And I think most of it is, the Benavidez promotional side of the issue.
That's right, yeah.
I think if he just didn't have the PBC involved, we could say that about almost every fight we want to see for the last 10 years. If the PBC just wasn't around, this fights would have been made.
Yeah.
And it's really just as simple as that.
Unfortunately, it probably will never happen. All right, well, listen, thank you for your call, and call back next time, right, man? Take it easy out there.
All right. Enjoy Canelo fight week.
I'm not enjoying this at all, man. I want to talk about the Crawford. We got another phone call here, and then we'll get back to the panel. Let's go to 805. 805, you're on the air. 805, what's on your mind?
I'm back. I forgot to mention, I got cruised by stoppage, and I got what's the weirdo PBC guy? What's his name? The guy that went life and death with Charles Chaplin, Anderson. That guy.
He's not a PBC guy, but yeah, okay. So you got him winning against Bakole.
Yeah.
All right. Fantastic. Good to know there, Amak. Thank you for your call, man.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, guys. This fucking whole Canelo thing, it's a sordid ordeal. People love to talk about it instead of watching actual fights or talking about fights that are actually going to be happening. Amak just brought that up. Bakole versus Jared Anderson. I'm surprised that they made this fight. But I'm surprised that they would make this fight in the current 21st century environment where they coddle prospects. But it's a fight that should have happened a while back, at least 6 months ago or a year ago. Who are you guys picking in that one?
I got Bakole by upset in that. I don't know if it's gonna be an upset, right? But I got Bakole winning. He's bigger. He looks tough, dude. And he got that mean, got that real lion legal look in his eye. He's a real African. You feel me? So He's gonna stomp on Ohio on Saturday. We're gonna see what happens, bro. I just feel like the energy that Anderson's giving is kind of nervous. You know, when he's over here getting arguments with Jarrell Miller, letting himself get focused on other stuff. The fighting over the big baby nickname when he should try to knock him out.
True.
And the guy, and if you see the energy, go ahead.
No, I'm saying it's true. They're fighting over a name. Fight weekend, they're fighting over a name.
Yeah, fighting over a big, and it's like not even a good nickname. It's a goofy name. Big Baby. Who's the real Big Baby? He said they're gonna call him Cry Baby when I'm done with him. That's what Jarrell Miller said. He's funny, bro. He's funny, but he should be worrying about Bakole, bro, because that guy, he fucking hits hard. He's bigger than him, and I don't think he's gonna be able to just knock him out. So I don't know. I feel like he's gonna stop Anderson. I feel like Anderson just the way he's always been fighting, dude. The Charles Martin performance, not the way he's been fighting, but like his mentality that he repeats over and over. Like, I don't want to be in this for that long. You're gonna get smushed by somebody who does,
Yeah, that was weird when he said that.
But that's his mentality, right? Like Keyshawn calls himself the businessman. I think they're all like boys with top rank. Keyshawn and Anderson, they're always hanging out. But yeah, I mean, look, man, Anderson, this is America's great prospect, right? This is crazy that it's come this far, that this is the American heavyweight prospect. I mean, from Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson. Who was the last one? The last hype job, American heavyweight.
The last one, Wilder, yeah, he was a king. He was a king. People like to use the term Eurobomb to describe anybody that's from Europe. Wilder was the epitome of the Ameribomb. A guy that, he had power, but he was feasting on C-level opposition. They were making him out to be as if he was the number one guy in the division.
Yeah,
he was like David Price. He was like David Price, but protected a little bit better.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I guess what I meant was, let me rephrase that, because it's like everybody's seen the holes. Like if you were not blinded by the wood or hype, we all seen the holes. Like we're talking about it, right? But Baby Anderson does seem decent. He has, boxing ability.
Mm-hmm.
He's decent. But as far as being like a beast, like the Holyfields and Tysons, like people just expected American heavyweights to be a factory. It was just like a factory. Oh, there's going to be one right around the corner. And it's come this far that this is what we got, which is crazy. This guy, I think he's been exposed already.
I've been hearing this for the last 20 years, which is that the reason why there's no more American heavyweights is because they're all playing basketball, football, or baseball. I'm thinking, guys, what do you think about that?
That's I think that's trash. I think that's a kind of a cop out, bro. Because I've had someone tell me that. Someone I tell Americans aren't dominating boxing like they used to, and it's like, well, have you seen the what do they call the deals for the NBA, MLB, blah blah blah? A Japanese dude just got the biggest deal in the MLB, right? So you're not even dominating there either. But I mean, but whatever, right? I'm saying, like, bro, if the guys, you want to box, you want to box. You like to fight, you like to fight. If you get into boxing, you get into boxing. It's not about these other avenues, blah blah blah. It's who's participating, because that who is always going to do it, right?
And I was thinking something the other day is this is actually the perfect time for a guy like Anderson, or if he was better, because you got to think the heavyweight division is ready to be
a vacuum.
You got Tyson Fury older. All these guys are a lot older. And this would be the perfect time for a guy with skills, Mike Tyson, Holyfield-esque, if there was a guy to take over. And we know this he's not ready. He's not that guy. So I hope he gets knocked out. That's my prediction.
He gets knocked out. Well, here's the other thing, though, man. He was getting into it with people on Twitter. Again, you mentioned that. I got to go take a break, so you guys are going to take over. But I want to hear from you guys, because before we get into any more about the actual fight, Terence Crawford, you mentioned Terence Crawford, you mentioned Keyshawn Davis, Shakur Stevenson, that little click there with Jared Anderson, too. One of the things those guys, a lot of those guys have in common, specifically Shakur Stevenson and Crawford, they like to downplay and they like to denigrate people on Twitter, and they're also very ungrateful towards the work that Top Rank has done for them. Do you think that's going to rub off on Jared Anderson, or is it rubbing off already with him saying he wants to retire in 2-3 years? I'll be right back. I'll be listening.
Go ahead.
So just to jump on to what I was talking about, what BD asked about, where these guys going to different sports and blah, blah, blah. Like I can't remember who. Someone just pointed out in the chat. There was guys playing football. There was guys playing basketball in the 80s and the 70s. So it's like, what kind of excuse is that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Those sports also existed then too. Like, so it's like, what the fuck? But
the American heavyweight is just a myth. It's just a myth that you're only as good as who you got. And right now they had Anderson and
Richard Torres too, bro.
But it's a new era. It is definitely a new era. I don't think that they're as strong and dedicated to the sport. And like we're just piggybacking before BDA left, you could tell by the Twitter wars. These guys are not. They're not in the gym. They're not training like they should be. Like I think Baby Anderson was just arrested for like a high-speed chase. And I guess when they asked him,
they're chasing him down.
Yeah, he could do it again. He literally said, "I'll do it again."
Well, he said something about like, "Oh, I needed that experience" or something like that. Like,
yeah. He doubled down.
Yeah.
He didn't say, he didn't play the nice guy. And that's the other thing, right? They're trying to fulfill the Floyd Mayweather blueprint, the era. Like Keyshawn's name is the businessman. And like, I think me and you talked about this before, about Shakur Stevenson and the Twitter wars. And you said, does he, what did you say? Does he really believe it? Does he really believe the shit that he's saying?
Who?
Shakur Stevenson, when he goes on these rants, these Twitter rants.
No, I mean, what I say about Stevenson is that he has like this duality in that he's attacked with constantly, bro. And it's what I think led to his whole meltdown, where he just started attacking everybody. You know what I mean? Where we got these yes men at ESPN who are probably telling you the best thing ever, and then you got the people on Twitter who are, if you look on his Twitter, it's constantly negative, bro. It's like 90% negative and then 10% positive. We're like, you the best, champ. They hating, and everything else is like, bro, come on. It's like memes of him jumping in the air from Santos and like with the Nike signal on it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but can I ask how much of that is coming from, or how much of that wouldn't be there if it wasn't for the fact that Tank Davis is around? In other words, it's that Tank Davis fans are mocking him because they'd rather go with Tank Davis. Because, Tank Davis, his whole hood persona, his whole antics outside the ring, they really seem to like that for some reason, just like they did with Wilder.
No safety on this Glock. What did he say after the fight?
Look, just to speak to that. Just to speak to that, bro. I remember when Jared Anderson was coming out. I think it was on like one of the smaller shows of ESPN, and I was looking at comments. When he came out with that convict outfit. You know what I mean? I remember seeing like that intro. I think it might have been on Facebook somewhere, bro. I just remember it was like posted somewhere on the internet, and I was looking at the comments, bro. And like the comments were like this, like, "Oh, our culture's so different. We're just like they're just loving it, bro. They love it. They were loving it, bro. Basically, so that stuff with Davis, they like that. He seems like a genuine dude from the streets. And that's why you see guys like Stevenson try to act like he's like that. You see someone like Devin Haney pretending, to act like that. It was so funny, bro. This is an off track, dude. But but this ties into everything. Because I've seen Davis say this, and I've seen Shakur Stevenson say this. If someone cheats against me, I'm gonna shoot him, right? And they found out that Devin Haney actually got cheated against, right? Supposedly against by Ryan. And the first thing Devin Haney was saying in his first interview was like, "I want to take this outside of boxing. I want to do something in real life." But he didn't even sound serious saying it. But you get like the mentality that he's trying to be on. They want to be like street dudes.
He's trying to keep it real.
Well,
and look,
it's crazy. Yeah, and we'll probably have to hit BDA to the because BDA, we got to give BDA the hip news sobers. But here's the thing, they actually do need a lot of pushback because like real ninjas, you know what they say, push back on Shakur. I guess Mason Cameron, BDA.
Oh yeah, those
Are you aware?
Yeah, bro. Like those guys, they got a lot of clout. You could say, you know what I mean. He was trying to snap on them, and they even had Jay Prince looking crazy because he even released like a statement on Shakur Stevenson's Twitter saying, any street stuff, you had to go through me or whatever.
Right.
It's like, bro, y'all 50, bro, chill out. And they even told him. Cameron and Maze even told him, like, bro, you older than him and shit like that. Yeah, like kick back.
But these guys, they act tough. They say all these ain't no safety on the Glock. They do these Twitter wars, but they actually run up against real street dudes, and then they have to pull back, you know. So it's like you really got to be careful because they know you're an athlete. It's like you're a boxer, dude. You've been going to tournaments, sleeping with your dad since like 8.
Yeah, no, and it's not a bad thing, bro. It's not a bad thing, bro. It's like it's because for you to do that at a young age to get through it, you have to have someone there pushing. You have someone that has to sacrifice their time too. Exactly. It's usually your parent, bro.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's well, I mean, it's
but don't act like that's not it. That wasn't it. Don't act like that wasn't it, though. You know.
Yeah. You know, and he's bringing up a good point, Frank, and Sobers. You know, you need a guy that's going to support. You know, a kid can just go into the amateur by himself. He needs either a parent figure or an actual parent to do it, and there's nothing wrong with that. However, when you see stuff like this, for example, that's when you start getting a little bizarre. I don't know, man. It's you guys tell me.
Look at that boy. We out here, bro. We out here. 9 o'clock at night, man. Getting this work. Look at that, baby. Look at that. Jesus Christ.
I mean, that's a little bizarre. His own father saying, "Look at that," zooming in on his crotch. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that bulge. Look at that bulge. Yeah, Jesus Christ. I mean, come on.
Listening.
Yeah, man. I mean, come on, man.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. That is bizarre. Now, the other thing that's bizarre.
I wouldn't let my dad do that.
Yeah, man. The other thing is this, man. I think one of the reasons why Shakur Stevenson also sort of drove away the Afro-Anglo base is when he started claiming to be Puerto Rican. That's what really I noticed a shift in the timeline, or in the paradigm rather, because that's, you know, I don't know. It's just they really disliked him claiming to be Puerto Rican, and I'll give you. And then on top of that, when he started saying that he favored Lomachenko, or that he actually saw Lomachenko winning over Haney, I saw a lot. Let me just show you a couple of examples here, because I don't just make things up, fellas. I mean, people think I do, but check this out. Shakur Stevenson had said, "Yo, Lomachenko, nothing but respect, champ. You deserved them. You deserved them belts. I hope you healed up and everything is all good with you. I think it's time for real." Blah, blah, blah. So then this guy goes, "All praises due, huh? Disgusting work." So now this guy looks like an Israel. What do they call him? True Israelites, or what are they? Black Israelite.
A black Israelite.
We know those guys.
A Hebrew Israelite, my bad.
Hebrew, yeah, thank you. You know those guys go hardcore with the whole Afro-Anglos invented everything. Then this guy, clearly, look at his name, Gabriel El Yahawaha. He goes on his knees.
That's definitely, Hebrew Israelite. Yeah.
He goes on his knees for that white boy. And then the guy goes, "Truly disgusting." And then the other guy goes, "Mine." And then we have another guy going.
Funny ass response.
And then, yeah, it makes no sense. What does that mean? Does that mean I agree with you, or no doubt? And then this guy who, I don't know if his avatar looks like he's in a booth at a toilet or something. But anyway, he says, "Shakur, yes, Master Stevenson." So there you go. So you give praise to a white guy, all of a sudden you're an Uncle Tom or something. That's just the way they do it. I mean, the LDBC thing has been around for a couple of years now. It's no surprise, but that's what they do, man. That's how they do it. And I see people in the chat don't like it. Every time we bring this up, they go, "Talk to us about something else." they really don't like us pointing the truth, man. But hey, you guys should call them out, man. Call out these fanatics, these black fanatics. If you're an Afro-Anglo, go ahead and call them out, man. Because they're not listening to us. So make sure you do that. We need.
That didn't even make sense. I was saying that didn't even make sense, BDA, because he was trying to lure Lomachenko into a fight, like very obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Personally, BDA, I don't mind it. I find it actually funny. Like, we're laughing about it. Mm-hmm. Where I don't like it is when it creeps into the media and like how Devin Haney just got put back on the pound for pound list. How Shakur, even after terrible performances, and you have breakout stars like Junto Nakatani, you have all these other guys that are breaking out, and they still have these guys on the pound for pound list. And so that's where I see it kind of intersecting, because we know, like, we see Tim Bradley always ooh and ahhing Shakur Stevenson, and then now even they had a fallout. So you do see how it actually parallels with mainstream ball.
It's a great point, salient point right there.
When we talk about the news, it does have an influence and impact.
By the way, people are saying in the chat, hey, put up that Teofimo Lopez video again. I'll do you one better. I'll give you another one, a different one.
I didn't ask.
What is that? What is that? What is that? That is that hand movement right there. I mean, I don't know. I'd hate to think what he's doing with that
I think
movement.
he just meant to send it to his lady, BDA. I don't think he meant to post that publicly, bro.
Well, I don't know, man. All right, we got another phone call here. Let's go to 203. 203, you're on the air. 203, what's on your mind?
Yo, guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, 203. What's up?
So I was thinking, what if Shakur, I mean, in a crazy world, what if Shakur understands these things, it finally gets through his thick fucking skull, and he starts calling out all these guys on Black Twitter saying, listen, you guys are just fucking faggots that have this. This is what you think. This is what you idolize. Oh, sorry. This is what. My bad. This is what you idolize. Look, you idolize Big Baby over here. This is your culture, and I got a father. So yeah, who's worse for wear now? There's a lot of jokes and there's a lot of shade to be thrown at from Shakur's side if he would embrace it. And now, imagine he also on top of that started fighting like better BM. I mean, could he even do that? Could he even switch how he boxes to be more aggressive?
Well, I'll say this. First of all, I was on the record right after the Shakur Stevenson Hartunonian fight that I didn't have a problem with the way he fought. In other words, there's two distinctions to make here. One, there's people criticizing him for being boring despite trying, which I can understand. But he did try. He didn't back foot bitch it in there. He did try. He's just not that guy. He tried against two. I don't know if you guys remember, but the first fight during the pandemic was in June, and Shakur Stevenson was the first guy to come back during the pandemic, and he fought this no-name Mexican that I never heard of, and I haven't heard of him since. Shakur Stevenson hurt both his hands stopping this dude. He just is not equipped physically to score these knockdowns without hurting himself, and that was against a no-name. He tried to do it against Hartunonian, couldn't put the guy out. The only guy that was hurt in that fight was Shakur Stevenson with that left hook. So him trying to fight that way, he's never going to be Beterbiev. That's number one. Number two, to your point about him denouncing the culture, that's never going to happen. Because Shakur Stevenson, he can claim he doesn't care about what people say on Twitter all day and all night, but the fact that he keeps replying to them is indicative and proof that he does care. Otherwise, he would just shut his mouth. Like, you never see other fighters like, Lomachenko and Usyk going back and forth with people, even in Ukraine or whatever.
Of course.
But he does, because he does care
No,
what people
silent.
say. So.
They're silent. They're from those from the Eastern Europeans, there's silence. It's silence, it's radio silence, and I mean, as it should be, because you're just wasting that extra energy. But I just, it's just the thought of Shakur fighting like better via, maybe, go down like a weight level or two if you ain't got the hands for it. I don't know, man. I want to see him destroy somebody ruthlessly bad, like send him to the hospital. But
that's not going to happen.
He ain't going to do that, and it's not going to happen. And he's not going to denounce, and he's going to try to play both sides. And when you play both sides, you ain't getting nothing. You ain't getting that. So
exactly,
it's just a fantasy of mine. But I agree with you. I don't watch any of his fights. Who did he fight last? I don't fucking know. I don't care.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, that's mine.
All right, well, listen, thank you for your call, and call back next time, man. No, I get you. You have the right to you. All right, man, take it easy out there. Yeah, people have the right to miss certain fights. Like, the Canelo Berlanga, I don't even know if I'm going to buy it. I know some people, especially Mexicans, are going to be, come on, what's up, what's up, you ain't clica. But it is what it is. I don't, if I already know the outcome of the, I'm probably going to buy it because I have to cover the fight, for the channel. But it's not something, if I do buy it, I'm not going to do it with a smile on my face. Let's just put it that way.
No, BDA, when you hit click buy, you're going to say, this is for la raza.
This is for la familia.
Yeah,
no, but hey, you know what?
Take a shot. Take a shot and do it.
This is for la onda.
There you go.
I'm curious, because I don't think I've ever heard you guys talk about, who would you pick between Shakur Stevenson and Tank Davis?
Tank, all the way.
Is that right?
Yeah, I swear, I've never been impressed with Shakur. As soon as I seen him, I said he's a back foot, cutie. No pause, ass
Yeah, what the
foul.
fuck?
He doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to fight, and he's been told his whole life, don't get in mix-ups. That's how he was trained. That's how he was coached. He grew up being praised on his defense, and that's his best tactic. Why would he change? He heard Floyd say, "Yeah, I don't fight for the fans. Fans, ain't gonna feed me. I fight for checks." That's what he heard. That's what they know. He's gonna stick to it.
Did you just call him a back foot hottie?
Call him a cutie. You called him a cutie.
A cutie. Yeah, that was weird, Frank. You gotta.
I didn't want to say back foot just on your family show. Back foot.
Oh, you can say no. I got the
fighter.
I got the beep. I got the beep. So you can say whatever you want, and I'll just censor it.
Back foot back.
There you go.
Voodoo magic man.
You know what's interesting about this? Okay, so Sober. So who would you pick between Stevenson and Davis?
Oh, honestly, bro, I think I'd favor Stevenson, bro. I feel like, he does seem kind of soft, and that's like the whole thing. Like, bro, if you take one punch, are you really gonna go down? If this dude hits you one time, I really don't think. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt, bro. You won't go down from one punch from this guy, right? But I think Stevenson, what he does that makes him look so great to everybody, and they used to, call him a generational talent, blah blah blah. When he has all the advantages, the physical advantages, the speed, the size, the weight, the length, the feet, which I do think he has all that over Davis, except the power. He could beat him. I think he could stay away from him. He could tap him. It ain't gonna be pretty. You ain't gonna like watching it. It's gonna be boring. But I think he could stay away from him and just tap him up and get a decision.
That's a good point.
Because Davis, he just in a straight line, bro. He don't cut off the ring good. And you're gonna bank on Stevenson getting tired. I wouldn't. He can run a marathon, bro.
Yeah, great point, man. That's a great point right there. Oh, geez, we got a flood of phone calls here all of a sudden. Okay, I want to go back to just real quick. I was used to pick Shakur Stevenson to beat Tank Davis. Now I'm not so sure after the way he fought De Los Santos. I think he would fight Tank Davis the same way. And if he goes that way, very uneventful fight with only like 60 punches landed, then I would. They were probably gonna give that one to Tank Davis. So I'm no longer as confident as I was a year and a half ago. Let's go to the phone lines here. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. Real helps out. Let's go to 309. 309, you're on the air. 309, what's on your mind?
Oh, yeah. This your boy, Easy. I hear you underestimating Crawford. You talking about he ain't match tough. You talking about, what you say? He didn't fight the poster fight, right? He did what he did to win,
soft,
and he
bro.
did it easy. I'm not a Crawford fanboy now, but I just see what I see, bro. That nigga is pretty good, and I'm going to tell you something. He finna knock dude out 1 through 4. That's my prediction. But what get me is the heavyweight. It's the heavyweight. It's Jared Anderson, Martin Bakole. It's Jarrell Miller, Andy Ruiz that sold me. Because the heavyweights move everything. I'm telling you. That's what's really going to steal the show is them heavyweights. I'm telling you this right now.
And who are you picking?
It's the heavyweights. But I got Jarrell Miller winning, though.
Is that
Jarrell
right?
Miller... he's gonna probably stop that dude because if you notice, Chris Arreola even knocked down Andy Ruiz, and I know Jarrell Miller hungry. Yeah, he was on the pads or whatever the fuck, but who ain't cheating in that shit? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he talk shit, back it up. We need him to win. Andy Ruiz is too humble. Hey, I'd like to thank God and like God and Jesus Christ, he can do it. I'm like, come on, Andy. You got to bring that killer. Jarrell Miller can sell that shit. And Jared Anderson, I'm going to be real. He's in a tough fight, but I trust Jared. I know they got Sugar Hill in there. I'm like, I trust Jared to clean some shit up. I just got to put my faith in them. I know it's tough, but they are American heavyweights. So it's like, hey, I'm riding with you. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? It's really the heavyweights. And then we got Ryo stopping Isaac Cruz because Ryo is not Ryo, but Pitbull is a hype job. You know what I'm saying? He is a hype job. We can see that the dude lost from Giovanni Cabrera. He did lose. Let's not forget. He did get a gift, and he did beat Rolly, but Rolly's trash. Yeah, Rolly trash. Yeah, he did all right with Tank. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that fight was a draw. But, Tank hand was fucked up.
Well, that's what they say. That's what he said.
Tank just was this. You know what I'm saying? Who knows if his hand was fucked up? But that fight looked like a draw. But you know, Tank ain't that good anyway. He alright, but you know,
I mean,
it is what it is with dude.
Yeah, he's good, but people are.
But it's a good fight, man. It's just a good fight, bro. I love that card. That card. I've been waiting on this card for a grip, and finally it come on. I'm like, hey man, I've been waiting for this motherfucker. Thank you, Turki Alalshikh, and thank you, Crawford, for being a GOAT. But I'm out, man. I'm out. You want to say something? Because I heard you saying say something. I'm just.
Yeah, would you be?
I'm just, trying to get my call out of shit.
No, hold on. Yeah, so yeah, thank you, Turk, for making that event. It wouldn't be possible without him. But personally, would you be willing to be in a room alone with the Turk? Would you be willing to do that after all the pictures we've seen of him holding hands? Yeah.
No, bro. I seen that shit with Joe Rogan. Dude was, you know what I'm saying? And I heard sober talk. I'm like, nah, I'm cool, bro. It's all business with Turk. As long as we're working on business, we ain't on nothing else. We don't have to stay in on business. We want to make sure another nigga in the room.
The problem is he wants to be. The problem is he wants to be up in your business. That's the problem. So that's why I'd be very scared of being.
Oh no! What you say a Turk and some shit? Like what you say? He showed me touching niggas though. He's okay.
That's what I'm saying.
He showed me touchy. But that might be his culture though. You know what I'm saying? That might be his culture.
That's the cop out. That's the cop out. Yeah, it ain't my culture.
Yeah, you know, we don't know how them people are. You know, he probably is all about hospitality, but I ain't gonna be holding that nigga hand like that. I'm telling you that right now.
Exactly.
We ain't gonna be holding like we going to the park. Now my females, yeah. If that's my girl, yeah. My little son or my daughter, yeah. But not no man like that. I'm gonna be honest. And I don't want Turkey to look at this and be like, "Wait, what? That's not." Nah, Turkey, just we Westerners are different. We think different. So you gotta, can't put a two over our head.
Exactly. All right, caller, great call, and call back next time, right, man? Take it easy out there.
All right, man. Peace, BDA.
Thank you. Yeah, well, Frank made a good point. Like, yeah, that ain't my culture. It's a little weird, man.
I agree with you saying, though.
I agree with what he was saying about Andy, bro. Like Andy just sitting there being quiet and stuff. Because you let Jarrell Miller and Jared Anderson go about it. They act like you weren't even there. He's already talking about whooping Jared Anderson's ass like you're an afterthought. So I agree with what he was saying, bro.
Exactly. Yeah. And Luis, for anybody that's picking Luis, think twice about this because he hasn't fought since 2022. So, and he's a counterpuncher. He relies on his timing to get things done. So, Rusty and Luis, we'll see what happens. Let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 915. 915, you're in the air. 915, what's on your mind?
What's up, bro? What's up? The Tanque, bro. What up, Sobers?
Oh, El Tanque, what's up?
Hey, man, I was chilling earlier, right? And then my brain got to thinking, man, tomorrow's a fucking sacrifice.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Something that the Turkey has done in a while is sacrifice Black American fighters.
Whoa.
Wilder, Amma Williams, Raymond Ford. Now it's Bud. And you know what tomorrow is? Tomorrow is August 3rd, part of the Eid al-Adha, a major Islamic holiday that Muslims celebrate from July 31st to August 3rd. It is also known as the Festival of Sacrifice, commemorates the story of Prophet Abraham's devotion to God, willing to sacrifice his own son. And who does the fucking Turkey love? Bud. That's his son. Tomorrow, he's facing another Muslim named Israel Madrimov. And the Muslim is going to shine tomorrow because the fucking Turkey is fucking sacrificing the fish.
Wait. You know what? El Tanque.
Stay woke.
We need
Stay
this.
Woke. These fucking Muslims are coming to get us, bro.
Tanque. Hold on. Sorry to interrupt, Tanque, but we need this exclusive. We can't do this over the phone because it's gonna be too. I want these guys to really be able to hear what you're saying. So you're on the Discord, right? Add me as a friend on Discord, and I'll bring you on the panel. Add me on the Discord. Add me as a friend so I can get you on the panel because this we need to go into depth on this. All right, man.
Right, that too.
All right, I got you, bro.
Do it now, man. Do it now so we can talk about it on the air.
No, because that's the X factor, bro. That Madrimov is a Muslim as well, bro. And Crawford isn't,
Well, are you sure Crawford's not a Muslim?
I never seen him wearing. I never seen him, pull out his rug or nothing like that.
How about?
They be up at 6 a.m. when they're dedicated. They'll be up at 6 a.m. like a rooster, bro, and they'll be praying.
Yeah.
Yeah, they usually change their name too. Abdul Wahid.
That's true. That's true.
And by the way, tomorrow too is we're in August. These are the dog days of summer, and the dog thing is associated with the dog star of Sirius, and that has highly powerful occult energy and significance, rather. Excuse me, in this occult ritual. So, there's strange things that always happen in the dog days of summer. So, maybe the caller has a point there. I mean, El Tanque. And by the way, Tanque, I'm waiting for you to add me on Discord as a friend. Send me the request as a friend so I can add you on the panel. I mean, I can do it without, but it's always easier to do it this way. Let me just read a couple of super chats here. Okay, shout out to M.AW for his contribution with the super chat. He says, one can only fight the best available opponents in one's own era and only popular based on exposure and marketing. Madrimov is legit threat, in my honest opinion, but Bud has to dominate to entertain Canelo fight or hype plummets. Absolutely, yeah, Crawford needs to look good tomorrow, because if he doesn't, all of a sudden it's going to dampen the hype for a Canelo fight. All of a sudden people are going to lose interest because they're going to say, well, it's clear if he couldn't beat Madrimov convincingly, there ain't no way he's beating Canelo. Shout out to Jacques Cousteau for joining the media membership program. Shout out to him, or re-establishing it. Shout out to Jacques Cousteau. Always glad to have more people on the team, and I'm glad you decided to stay on board, man. Really appreciate it. Shout out to Jay Nels for his contribution as well. He says Canelo could fight Godzilla, and people would still complain. They'd say, well, Canelo aged out Godzilla. Never satisfied. Absolutely. It happens with every A-side throughout history, Jay Nels. Shout out to Sergeant Slaughter for his contribution with the super chat. He says, salute to all the Canelocas. Well, there you go. Shout out to Sergeant Slaughter. Appreciate it. And shout out to Sergeant Slaughter again for another contribution with the super chat. He says, BDA is my favorite boxing guy. Well, shout out to you, Sergeant Slaughter. Appreciate the kind words, man. Really appreciate it. All right, I see we've got El Tanque is adding me as a friend. I want to hear about this. For those of you that missed it, El Tanque is saying that tomorrow is a sacrificial day in terms of occult lineage, and we want to hear more from him. So he's saying that Madrimov is a favorite here, and that they're going to sacrifice. All right, El Tanque, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, man. Okay, so just reiterate what you had said about the sacrifice and the dates.
Yeah, so look, bro, yesterday you had mentioned something about the ceremonial weigh-ins being, pretty late. And I had asked a buddy that's out there, and they said he's probably going to get on up there around 9 o'clock. And I'm like, why the hell is he going to be up there around 9 o'clock my time? It's 8 p.m. Cali. I mean, that is 6, 7 a.m. out in the Middle East. Like you just said. Really devoted Muslims wake up early at that time. Then I was like, what are we celebrating August 3rd, bro? And it's called Eid al-Adha. It's a major Islamic holiday that Muslims celebrate from July 31st to August 3rd, also known as the Festival of Sacrifice, right? Tomorrow is... Like I'm saying, man, this dude is out here doing some crazy stuff that nobody's paying attention. Every single American that he's taken out there, especially, the Afro-Americans, they've lost, bro. Whether it be Wilder, Amma Williams, what's the other, Raymond Ford, Gerald Miller. It's there, bro. The proof is in the pudding, man. I don't know why nobody's paying attention, bro.
I'm looking at it here on the Google. I Googled it. It says Eid al-Adha, also known as some other name. The Feast of Sacrifice commemorates Prophet Ibrahim, that's Abraham's willingness to sacrifice his son as an act of obedience to God's command. Ultimately, God provides a ram to be sacrificed instead. Yeah, but that's the thing, though, El Tanque, because a lot of scholars have said, biblical scholars have said that the story of Abraham sacrificing his son and then, of course, not doing it at the last minute is an allegory for the fact that God was sending a new covenant abolishing human sacrifice, because at the end he doesn't sacrifice his son. So Is that really the meaning behind this tomorrow's event?
I believe so, man. I believe so. I mean, why would you stick Terrence Crawford in there with another Muslim, bro?
Well,
like,
because it's a good
who
fight.
asked for this fight?
Well, it's a good fight, though. Maybe it doesn't have anything to do with.
Yeah. I understand it's a good fight, right? But who asked for it? You know, the narrative is the Turkey gives you what he wants. Nobody asked. No, there's 90% of the people that call in can't even pronounce Madrimov's name, bro.
That's true, man. Yeah, I'm hearing Madrimov. I'm hearing Madrimovio. I'm hearing what was it? Madrimov.
Hey, can anybody challenge the Sheikh? Can anybody challenge His Excellency?
That's a good question there, Bucho.
I believe Canelo is challenging him, bro.
But what do you guys think about that?
No,
what
he is.
saying?
He definitely is going against the UFC card on the same day that the Turkey's throwing it.
Well, guys, what do you make of Frank and everybody else? Well, what do you guys make of El Tanque's theory?
I mean, he has the dates and the names. I mean, right? Like, I mean, I think it's a stretch, but anything's possible.
I think His Excellency has destroyed Al Heyman. He's better than Al Heyman. He did it in less time than Al Heyman.
Yeah, man. I mean,
this is definitely worth looking at, bro. Because you know, I noticed Madrimov, you know, praying and stuff, saying, you know, I don't want to mispronounce it right, but you know, someone would say praise to God, whatever. And I was like, oh, I didn't know this dude was Muslim, right? And I was like, why would he be looking out for this guy Crawford, who's probably Christian, right? If anything. And I was like, I wonder why he would be putting him up like that and like perching him up, because he really has been looking out for his people, right? You know, when they go over there, they've been getting the guys they've been converting, right? You know, and whether that's real or not, it just seems like it's a tribute, like they're making them do that. So it does seem like he's interested in conversion, right? He does like the idea of that. I think Jarrell Miller went over there and converted, didn't he?
I know Devin Haney did.
Bro.
He's starting a jihad. That's the question.
Yeah, like, bro, it's like there's always underlying factors, bro. And like, you know, we're in the Western, we got the Western point of view, bro. So something might be more obvious from a different point of view. We not even see becoming, because there is always a war conversion, bro. There might be esoteric ripples going on here that we don't even know. So thank you, bro. What the fuck?
It's a war for souls.
The war for what?
For souls.
It's a war for souls, man.
What is this, Mortal Kombat? I mean, listen, I agree that the most powerful people in the world, most of them are involved in these sort of weird beliefs. I mean, there's a Second Renaissance. I was going to do a video on that, on all the examples of highly prominent individuals who believed in esoteric stuff. Because people always say, there's nothing of substance to that. But, you know, that's how they actually talk, by the way. And there's evidence to prove that there is. A lot of evidence. Again, I got no proof to prove it convincingly, but there's enough evidence to show you that something weird's going on here. And the Turki Alalshikh, by the way, Ricardo Renteria in the chat is calling him Turkey all but cheek. All but cheek. So anyway, listen, I don't know. All but cheek. I'm telling you, people like to twist names. People like to twist names there in the chat. But okay, so El Tanquecito, Tanque, what do you expect tomorrow? You expect Madrimov to win then?
I expect I think this fight is going 12 rounds, and I don't think they'll give the decision to Bud. This gives me vibes to Usyk Fury, bro. If you watch the fight, you know I love both fighters. They're badass fighters. You could have easily said it was a Fury or not, but if you pay attention, right before the scorecards are given out, the Turkey walks up and grabs Usyk by the shoulder. And voila. I don't know, bro. This guy got too much power. The fixes are in. I honestly thought Raymond Ford beat Nick Ball.
Is that right?
Yeah, and it went the other way around, bro.
But why would they be willing? Why only sacrifice Afro Anglos?
I have no idea. But that's what it looks like, bro. Like all the Americans in general,
they're American fighters.
Don't they still have like slaves over there, BDA?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they import slaves from Nigeria.
It's a twist because when it comes to the BBC, it was the opposite. Who were they favoring? Now what's happening with His Excellency? He's favoring other type of fighters. So this is very interesting.
Well, I mean, if there is some bias against Afro-Anglos, I'm against all types of bias, whether it's against Mexicans, whites, Asians, or Afro-Anglos. It's not right. I'm paying to see a fight and to see both guys give it their all, and the rightful winner get the win. I don't want to see an occult ritual. I'm not paying to watch an occult ritual.
Yeah, this Turkey guy being in boxing rubs a lot of people the wrong way. Just his presence alone. So a lot of people don't like it. And I've been hearing that he has something against Canelo. I don't know if you guys were saying it. I mean, people are starting to say that because he is going against Canelo. So, yeah, this guy does have an agenda. I mean, everybody has an agenda, right? So there probably is an agenda. But we're getting good fights, so nobody's going to complain.
Yeah, man, I mean, that's what it seems like here, man. That's what it seems like here. All right, hold on a second. We got a super chat here, and we were almost out of time here because I wanted to keep it relatively short today. But shout out to Sergeant Slaughter for his contribution with the super chat. He says, "Salute to El Loboto." Yeah, well, I don't know if he's referring to Gonzalo. I haven't seen Gonzalo in a while, man. Hope he's all right. I know he wanted to take some time off. Hopefully he's all right, and we hear back from the Gons real soon. Shout out to Sergeant Slaughter for another contribution. What's that?
No, I was going to say shout out to the Gons.
The Gons, that's right. There you go. And shout out to Sergeant Slaughter again for his contribution with the super chat. He says, "Salute to sobers from El Lobote." Okay. So
oh shit, that might be him right there, bro.
Is that right, Gonzalo? If that's you, let us know, man. You don't have to super chat, by the way. But thanks again for the super chats. But yeah, let us know, Gonzalo, if you're all right, man, because I haven't seen you on the Discord in a while. I'm getting a communique from Mirage who wants to come in to the what the fuck? He obviously wants to talk about Canelo. Hold on. So before we go, we gotta give him a chance to have his say on that. Hold on a second. How do I kick people off? Because I need to kick somebody from who's not on the. Hold on a second. I don't have him on the list. Okay. Anyway, yeah, but yeah, okay. So I'm gonna keep an eye on this whole thing of this occult ritual. I'm gonna keep an eye on this, man. Because again, I'm not paying to watch a fixed fight. I want to see an actual fight, competitive fight, real fight. And this thing doesn't help me at all, man. But it's hey El Tanque. That's a very. How did you find about that again? About that ritual?
Well, because yesterday you had said that the weigh-in ceremonies they were gonna be, not at the usual time, which is my time is like 5 o'clock, about around this time, or a little earlier. But when I looked it up, bro, they were gonna start around 8 p.m. Cali time. So by the time Bud gets up there, it's about to be 9, right? Then I looked the time difference between, the States and Saudi Arabia or the Middle East in general. They're 10 hours ahead. So, by the time it's 9 o'clock here or in Cali, it's about to be 6 to 7 a.m. out there. And then you said, the really devoted ones wake up around that time and start their routine. And then I had to look up the date, bro. I was like, August 3rd. Why August 3rd? And boom, popped up, bro. And I was like, damn, that makes sense. This dude is, if you look back, like I said, bro, all the Americans have been losing. A lot of Afro-Americans, too.
Yeah, that's bizarre, man. That is bizarre indeed. All right, we got Mirage on the line here. Mirage, how disappointed are you that the Benavidez team didn't push for their shot at Canelo? And that we might never see this fight ever happen? Because we've been talking about this for 2.5 years.
Nowhere near as disappointed as Canelo fans are that Canelo blatantly ducked David and chose Berlanga. Nowhere near as disappointed as you are, BDO. I know you're deeply disappointed.
I'm not disappointed.
And that's why you've been ducking me. Yeah, you're ducking me. I haven't seen you for fucking weeks and weeks.
Well, where do you usually...
how do you feel? Have you recovered? Have you recovered from the disappointment?
Where do you usually see me? Where do we usually see each other?
You haven't been running the open panels on here for quite a while. I think that's because of Canelo. You've been ducking. You want to protect.
We haven't been running that. We haven't
Canelo
been running.
from the criticism,
we haven't been
from
running
the
these
smoke.
open panels. We haven't been running these open panels since before that was all announced. Since before that all happened. So it makes no sense what you're saying. Like if it would have happened right as that occurred, as that news dropped, you would have a point. But unfortunately, you're twisting reality, just like you've been trying to twist reality for the past 2 years. That Canelo is scared of Benavidez. I mean, look, Benavidez they gave him 2 weeks, right? They gave him 2 weeks. He stayed silent, waiting for Canelo to announce something. Then he asked for another week. They give him a third week to decide. Then as soon as Canelo says, yeah, okay, Berlanga, this guy doesn't want to fight. Oh, we're moving to 175. I mean, this is ridiculous, man.
But I'm just curious, why did Canelo choose Berlanga instead of David? Did he lose David's phone number or something? What happened?
Just ignore everything I said. There you go.
No, but none of that stopped Canelo from picking up the phone to call David.
But how do you know he didn't?
Nobody reported it.
All right, so yeah, there's plenty of shit that doesn't get reported.
Is a report?
Here's
what got anybody on the whole internet said that.
Here's what got
Canelo
reported.
Called David and offered him a fight.
Here's what got reported. Samson Lukowicz saying, "Hey, we offered him 50 mil." Then when Eddie Reynoso said, "No, you didn't," they erased the tweet. Then we get reports that when they did negotiate, they're asking for TV rights. They got no leverage. Somebody called in, I think it was Irish Andrew Ward, and he said he encapsulated it perfectly. If they applied the WBC mandatory position, they would have had a standard 25% split. They didn't want that. They got greedy. They wanted more. And Canelo,
did any of this stop Canelo from picking up the phone?
Excuse me. And then Canelo
I'm a guest here. Why don't you show some respect to your guest, BD? How about that? Come on.
Well, respect goes both ways, my friend, and you've been showing nothing but disrespect since you've been here on this channel. We've actually been quite accommodating with you, even though you've got your own mental issues, as we've talked about before. We've been actually very accommodating with you. We've been training you with kids' gloves, and then all of a sudden you still lash out at the guy who's looking out for you, Mr. BDA. You got to address that too, by the way. That is disrespectful.
I haven't lashed out. I've been cordial.
No, well, maybe.
Cool. I'm cool. It's all good.
No, you're not cool. You're not cool. You're beyond cool.
But I think
what did Mirage think about his last performance? You thought he looked like a killer against a guy coming off his couch?
No, he didn't look like a killer. He actually looked human. And guess what? Canelo still ducked the smoke.
How's he ducking?
Even then, he didn't pick up the phone. But do you know who he called? He called He called fucking Berlanga, man.
Wait, so you admit he looked human? You admit that he did not look
human.
Spectacular.
He looked human, yeah. And Canelo could have dragged him down. Said, "Okay, you got to drain yourself. You got 2 months. Here's the offer."
But Mirage, which one is it? Is he's the Mexican monster? He's spectacular. He should have put that guy in the dirt. Why do he look so average?
Because at the end of the day, like, he's human, and not every fighter looks like a monster every fight. Not all the time. They're not. This isn't a fucking cartoon, man. This is reality.
No, but you hype this guy up like he's pound for pound number one. Do you even think he beats Beterbiev Bivol? Like, are we serious? You think at this point he even beats those guys?
If those fights happen, I'm betting not only that he beats him, but that he stops him. That's my official prediction. He'll stop him.
So David stops Beterbiev and Bivol?
Yeah, he'll stop them both.
All right. Hey, by the way, Alejandro Solis in the chat says BDA was busy preaching to Allah. First of all, that is a major lie right there. You shouldn't even kid about that. I mean, I'm going to be put on the watch list. So please don't say that.
But BDA, I don't want to press you too much. I mean, I think deep down, you know the reality of the situation. And I don't think we need to press it anymore. We don't need to go there.
You're cutting off.
Is Mirage telekinesis dead?
I think it's his little brother, bro.
No, wait. By the way, what is telkines? It's not telekinesis, it's telkines, right? Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
I don't sound like him, man. Come on, isn't he from the UK or something?
That's what I was going to ask.
He's
telekinesis.
It's telekinesis migration.
Isn't he Dutch from the Netherlands?
Some weird place. Somewhere.
I think he's related to Canelo. Kind of looks like him.
I don't know about that.
Okay, so we've been talking about tomorrow's card. You've been talking about that.
Wait. Let me just read a super chat real quick. Shout out to Sergeant Slaughter, who says, "Saludos to El Tanque and El Mirage es Joto Yours truly, Del Gonzalo. Oh, it is Gonzalo. There you go.
Oh,
Shout
yeah,
out to
that's what's
Gonzalo.
up.
He's still alive. Shout out to Gonzalo. And he doesn't have nice things to say. Yeah, he says Mirage is Joto. So there you go. He's calling you a Joto.
Yeah. So, Beta, are you one of the? I don't know. Are you one of the crew that have been pumping up Madrimov, whatever his fucking name is, or are you? Because we know the reality. This is a joke of a fight. This is not even main. This is not a pay-per-view main event. Just some random. These are some random dude with 10 fights, and they're pumping it up. Crawford's biggest challenge. Can he overcome the odds? Is he going to show us greatness? Get the fuck out of here, man. What
sounds
a
like
joke.
Sounds like what people say about Benavidez with Canelo, man. His biggest challenge is a monster.
Oh, he looks
But you know
like Triple G, so he is like Triple G. He looks like him. He's got to fight like him, right?
Let me ask you this.
Oh, yeah.
Which fights of his have you seen, and what have you seen from him that makes you think he's got no shot?
Okay, nobody's seen barely no fights of me. Who don't even know who he is.
No,
I've seen some highlights.
I said you.
I've seen a little bit. Yeah, I've seen a little bit.
A little bit. Come on, Mirage. Come on, man.
He's very
I'll let
wild.
You on the panel. I'll let you on the panel. I let you on the panel on the basis that bring you on the panel on the basis that you're probably going to bring at least something of interest. Make it entertaining. Let's go back and forth.
Yeah, I am.
I watched the highlights. I watched a little bit of it. Come on, man.
There's barely any footage of him because he's a nobody. But what I've seen, I don't have to watch whole fights. I can work out a fight, a couple rounds, and it's all over.
No, you can't.
I understand what's happening.
That's the problem, Mirage. You can't. You've shown that time and time again.
This guy, overly aggressive, throws a lot of wide punches, a lot of wide hooks. He's open for counters right down the middle. Reckless, poor defense, sloppy. I'm not impressed. To me, he looks like he's custom made for Crawford to counter him. That's what I saw.
You know what you need to do?
Then they go, oh, he's unorthodox. He's this footwork, whatever, man. Like Crawford will work that out. I don't see that he's got anything for Crawford.
Well, of course
he's got
you didn't
6
see
inches
it.
less reach.
Of course you couldn't see it. You only saw a little bit of him. So how much could you really see of the guy?
Okay, what did I miss? Like Crawford's faster. He's got much more reach. He's more experience. IQ, like what does he bring to Crawford?
Mirage, you're
to
breaking
trouble?
this.
What did I miss?
Mirage, you're sounding like a casual, man. I'm sorry, man. I mean, it's like, he got more skill.
Educate me. What did I miss? What's he bringing to the table?
He got more footwork. He got more dog. I was expecting you to say that, by the way. If you would have said that, I would have just kicked you off the panel right off the bat, man, and never had you back. If you would have said he's got more dog.
Footwork. I mean, he dances around and all that, but I mean, okay. At the end of the day, it's about punches. It's about defense. I don't see how he troubles Crawford in those areas.
Yeah, no, listen, ultimately I agree. I think Crawford's going to pull it off. I just think that Madrimov does have a lot of things going for him. When he attacks, he does get wide, but he only really gets wide when he sees a guy not giving anything back really to him. If you watch the Kurbanov fight, he's actually started off very well with straighter shots. Same thing against Michel Soro. But on top of that, he's got some things going for him to make it interesting. He's a strong dude. He can crack with both hands, which is not something we can say about a lot of Crawford's previous opponents. He does, when he attacks, he doesn't just attack straight on. He actually does throw a lot of feints, whether with the feet, with the head, or with the hands. That's sure to throw anybody off. He's also, factor this in too, outside the ring factors. Crawford hasn't fought since last year. It's been a year since he hasn't fought, a whole year, July. And he's going to be 37 next month. I know some guys can preserve themselves, fighting only once a year. It's happened. We've seen it like with Bernard Hopkins, for example. But not everyone's Bernard Hopkins. I don't know if eventually that's going to happen with Crawford, because here's what happens with older fighters. Crawford, I think we can all agree, he sort of waits a little bit. He doesn't start off right out of the gate, and then he starts turning it up. Older fighters, they go in there thinking they can do that, and then sometimes they find, I don't have as much gas in the tank as I thought I did. So that's something that could happen. Now, but am I picking Madrimov to win tomorrow? No. In fact, in Ring Magazine's prediction, only 2 people are picking him out of 21 experts. So I agree with you guys. And ultimately, Mirage, I think you're
do you
right.
think it's going to be like close and competitive, or what? Like,
I think for the first
a while
6
at least. You reckon for the first half of the fight, and then
yeah,
I'm still
I think for the first
on
half.
the thing that Bud Crawford hasn't fought anyone in their prime since 2019, bro.
Okay, but this guy's got 10 fights. How is he in his prime?
Yeah, but this dude's been beating up has-beens, dudes that were fucking a shell of themselves, bro.
Talk about Crawford.
What the hell did Kell Brook was coming down from 160 pounds versus Triple G. Then he came down and fought Errol Spence, and then Bud got him after that. Amir Khan was obliterated to the Shadow Realm by Canelo prior to the Bud. Well, like, he's been beating up, I guess, named cans like Coca-Cola and Pepsi's.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Yeah.
Cans, bro.
Hey, Mirage, where
Sean
did you...
Porter.
Yeah, Sean Porter was on the way out, too.
14 months out of the ring. If you go back and watch that fight, Sean Porter gave him problems in the first 6-7 rounds. He had Bomac telling Bud, "You're losing the fight." Bro, come on, like this, y'all. I feel like he's the most overrated guy on the pound per pound list. Like, he has not beaten anyone in their prime since 2019, bro. Give me one name since Jose Benavidez Jr. Give me a fucking name on there that has done anything after that.
Well, let's talk about that, because again, I picked Crawford to beat Spence. However, the thing that really sealed the deal for me was when Jimmy and Chief, when we were looking at videos of Spence's last fights, and they said you can see there's a decline between the Brook fight and the Danny Garcia and Ugas fights. You can tell there is. And I said, yeah, you're right. I'm going to pick Crawford. That's what sealed the deal for me. Subsequently, we've been hearing a lot of people saying, oh, those are excuses. You can't bring that up. You can't bring up the fact that Spence flew out of a window, like El Tanque said. You can't bring up the fact that he was an alcoholic for the past 3 years. You can't bring up the fact that he was probably on Quaaludes with his girlfriend. You want to go to Dubai, baby. That whole deal. The fact that he was out of the ring for over a year by the time he fought Crawford. Can we really... What do you guys feel about that when people say, oh, excuses? Aren't outside the ring factors supposed to be allowed to be brought up in? I mean, that's what the bookies look at when they're picking a fight. They're looking at all the factors.
Sport. It's not a team sport. There's no one helping you, protecting you. Your life is your life, and plenty of fighters have said it. You get exposed in the ring, right? Like how you've been living. If you've been eating too much, partying too much, it's going to show in the ring. There's no equipment. There's no bats or balls. This is your body, your head. Everything's on the line.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Mirage, what do you think about that? About when people say that Spence was a prime fighter and they want to overlook the fact that, he did it to himself, but he nevertheless did it. A lot of alcoholism, partying, inactivity, retina, eye injuries. Well, what do you think about that? When people say, no, you can't bring that up.
You got to keep it. I mean, people say excuses. Well, it's not an excuse if it's genuine, if it's real. And I think, he did not look like some top pound for pound fighter in that ring. He didn't look like that in the years before that even. I don't think he looked like a top pound for pound fighter against Porter. You go life and death with Porter against the Garcias, two little guys he dragged up. Even then, in his best, I thought it was questionable, and it only got worse. Inactive, the drinking, he looked slow, lethargic in the fight. I mean, that's a reality, isn't it?
I mean, well, but people don't want to look at it that way. They call you a heel. Yeah, and by the way,
well, that's how you just have bad analysis. Then you ignore that, and then you overrate what Crawford did, etc. You got to look at all the facts objectively.
And by the way, I would have picked Crawford.
I think he was at his best.
I would have picked Crawford to beat Spence. Although I think it would have been, if you would, I think back in those days I used to say that it was going to be competitive. But then when 2023 arrived, it was all in with Crawford. By the way, we got a phone call here. Late phone call. Let's go to 410. 410, you're on the air. 410, what's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, guys? It's me again. Two times.
Two times. What's up, man?
Yeah. You said after I hung up, you said I praise fighters and I criticize fighters. Well, that's exactly what I do. I consider myself a professional fan. I've spent thousands of dollars on boxing over the years. I don't get too close with any of the fighters. I don't love or hate none of them. I just, look at it for what it is. I gave up years ago on getting personal, liking certain fighters, because you find out a lot of times the guys you like aren't good guys. They beat their wives, they bully people around them. Then the guys you think are assholes, A lot of times you find are not. Now, having said that, Canelo Alvarez, I've been a fan of Canelo's from day one. First time I seen him, he's a great fighter. His story is great. And this guy came up fighting in the street for livestock, chickens and shit to help feed his family. I mean, you don't get it more out of the mud than that. But having said that, I've never considered Canelo the type of fighter to duck either. People said he was ducking Golovkin. Well, he wasn't. He fought Golovkin in his very first fight at middleweight. And the second fight, he fought Lara when he didn't need to. Obviously, he fought Mayweather when he was very young in boxing. And but regarding David Benavidez, man, the bottom line is he does not want to fight David. If he wanted to fight David Benavidez, he would have easily been able to get it. Just like when he wanted to fight Plant, he was able to get it. Saunders, anybody around. Benavidez he's been the best fighter in the division outside of Canelo the whole time Canelo's had the titles. How he missed this guy is beyond me. And regarding, the most damaging thing is right out of Canelo's mouth when he says Benavidez doesn't bring anything to the table, but if somebody wants to pay me $150 or $200 million, right, for a guy he claims brings nothing to the table, he wants money that nobody has ever got. And this is right out of his own mouth, with Benavidez being the number one contender for at least a couple years now. He's fought a couple eliminators. He fought Plant. He fought Andrade, who many believe Canelo avoided. I don't necessarily believe that, but he didn't fight him. And David Benavidez did, and he destroyed him. And he beat Plant convincingly, too. That division's not really that deep necessarily, especially with the one guy just moving up to light heavyweight, too. These guys are moving out of the division because they know what we don't know, but what the PBC people know. Canelo's probably told him, look, I got a few fights left, 3 to 5 fights. I'm not looking to fight these young guns anymore. I'm looking to just maximize on my own popularity, and this is why you get Berlanga. Nobody's asking for that fight, and most everybody you hear, I haven't heard anyone advocate for it to be like, yeah, well, this might be pretty good. Nothing. Everyone's shitting on it. So I like Canelo. I think he's a great fighter. If I had a pound-for-pound list, which I don't, if I did, he would be the number one pound-for-pound fighter on my list, simply because he's got 60-plus fights. He's got the best resume, and his losses were once moving up. We know what his losses, the 2 losses. I mean, it's a great resume, and that's where I would have him. But I can see what it is. He does not want to fight Benavidez. If he did, he could get it done. I'm certain of that.
Well, listen,
David Benavidez not.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We're gonna have to do a special Canelo episode on this one, man, because it keeps coming back up and up and up and up, and the same points keep being repeated, and then the same counterpoints keep getting repeated. So there has to be one final show, a kumite on this. Otherwise, we're gonna be going in circles all over the year with this fight. But anyway, listen, Jerry, we gotta move on. But thank you for your call, and call back next time, right?
Thanks.
Thank you. We got another phone call on top of that coming in before, last minute here. 619, you're on the air. 619, what's in your mind?
Well, what's up, guys? What's up? Hey, I agree with NPR or whatever, but my take on the whole Canelo situation, which she just was talking about, is that I think Canelo really believes that he's done enough in the sport of boxing, man. Like, because you think about, I'm not even like the biggest Canelo fan. I think he's great, but he's not like a all-time great yet, or he may be, but he's just not my favorite. But like, if you think about it, everybody has not fought everybody. Mayweather didn't fight everybody. Crawford hasn't fought everybody. So I don't know why everybody expects Canelo to fight everybody that they want. I think he does believe he put himself in the situation where he's made enough money and he doesn't need to fight him, or maybe he will fight him if he gets more money. But he tells you in your face, like, I'm not gonna do what everybody wants me to do. I'm gonna do what I want to do. But if you compare it to other fighters, like like I just said, like other great fighters haven't fought everybody either, because that's boxing, man. Boxers are just humans, man. They're not like, they can't go out and take beat, take tough fights one after the other. Everybody takes a soft touch, man, or you know what I mean? So that's from what I gathered from that. And well, I'm looking forward to Saturday's fights, and especially the Pitbull versus Rayo, and we'll see if they give if Pitbull wins. I hope he gets his just due.
By the way, Jose, have you heard from Gonzalo directly?
No, I have not heard from Gonzalo.
Okay,
I don't talk to Gonzalo that often.
Okay, well, he's here.
Maybe my mom. I don't know.
Okay. I just wanted to know if there's still proof that he's around, because he hasn't been around in a while, but he appears to be in the chat. I think that's him under a new account, so hopefully he's all right.
Yeah. I don't think nobody else would use those words. That's his. I can corroborate. That's his.
Hey, can I say something to this dude?
Yes.
Yeah, you're saying Canelo can't fight everybody. The funny thing is, he has been fighting everybody, but David Benavidez. He's fighting Berlanga, Munguia, 154 Charlo, Ryder. He's fighting everybody, just not the dude he has to fight.
See, Canelo, man, Canelo's in a different situation, man. Canelo, he is the diva. Like he doesn't mind fighting or making money right now. If Berlanga's going to bring in money, I don't agree either. But at the same time,
but the problem is,
I think he will fight Benavidez, or he would, but not right now.
Yeah, but when you got belts, you got to.
And he doesn't have to fight him if you don't want to.
Fight
That's the thing.
Here's the deal.
He doesn't have to fight him. He could say screw you, and what are you going to do? He has the best resume in boxing.
And punch him in the face, Butcher. Punch him in the face. Punch him in the face for disrespect.
No. Who's the challenger? The challenger is Benavidez. He should be jumping inside the ring after a Canelo fight and trying to look for the fight. This guy is not doing anything. He's just, in interviews, I'm disappointed. But jump inside the ring. Say something. Try to get your mandatory shot. He's not doing that shit.
What did Berlanga do?
No, I need nothing. But you don't understand. See, Canelo he's showing Benavidez his place. You're not gonna come here and ask for the TV rights. You're not gonna lie about $50 million that you never offered me. This guy is a fucking joke. He's a fucking joke. And now he says he wants to fight. He says he wants the winner of Beterbiev and Bivol. That's a fucking lie. Did you see Benavidez against Vosdik? What happened there? He couldn't even hurt Vosdik. He's gonna get destroyed by Bivol or this other guy. Or the fucking homeless guy yelling at me.
Vozdik's a tough dude, man. Why are you disrespecting Vosdik, man?
Fucking homeless guy.
Give him some money. Give him some money, man.
Hold on. You guys are all over the place. You guys are all over the place. I gotta hang up on Jose too, by the way. Jose, we gotta go, man. Thanks for your call.
No.
No?
I'm right here.
Okay, we gotta go, man. We gotta go, though. We gotta go, Jose. We gotta go, though.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, take it easy, man. I meant to say we gotta go.
Yeah, the bottom line.
Go ahead, and then I gotta
when you're
take
the
other
champion,
calls. Yeah. Go ahead, Mirage, and then I gotta take another call here.
Huh?
Yeah, listen. You know damn well that Canelo. What do you think he's afraid of Benavidez? Seriously, after that performance against Vosdik? Are you that fucking dumb? Are you that fucking dumb? Are you that fucking dumb?
He has nightmares.
That shit means that you know shit about boxing.
I think he's seeing a therapist. I think he's seeing a therapist to help him with the nightmares he has of the Mexican monster. That's what I believe, 100%.
Well, there you go.
Can I ask Mirage something, bro?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
All right, real quick. Yo, look. So there's not too much to do with the fight, right? More with the fight not happening. Didn't you make a bet with somebody, bro? I heard you arguing on another channel. Didn't you make a bet with somebody about the fight happening in September and they don't want to pay?
We need to put the word out on the streets. I'm sure BDA is where you know the TBS, the boxing insiders. He came on here once. We talked about the bet. I made a bet with this dude. The bet was that Canelo's going to fight David in September. That's his. He said Canelo's going to fight David in September, and I said no, he's not. We made a bet. This dude's welching on the bet. He's ducking the bet now. He's not paying. I want to put the word out on the street, okay? We got a mutt who makes big bets, who makes big bets, he talks big, then he doesn't pay. And he was on this channel, so he's disrespecting. You got people on here, those type of people, BDA. It's not acceptable.
What was his name again, Mirage?
The boxing scientist.
And you said you paid him. You paid him before on another bet already, right? You said you already
I
paid
lost
him.
the bet to this dude before, and I paid him. See,
So
I
Mirage
stand by
honored his
my
word. He paid him money, right?
Yeah. So
But hold on,
spread
hold
the
on.
word, man. We got to
Bucho.
eradicate these cockroaches from the community, okay?
Bucho, you probably, because you're the one that keeps the archives there when people make bets between each other. Do you remember that? Or where can I access? Do you have a spreadsheet or something where I can access that information?
Well, if he can call in, he'll confirm it because they've spoke about it.
Who, the boxing scientist?
Yeah, I don't think we made the bet on this channel, man.
Oh, then
Well,
why,
you know who
what
he
the
is,
fuck
man. You know who he is.
Then why'd you bring it up then? You said, oh, it happened here on BDA. Listen, whether it happened or not, boxing scientists, if you're listening, you got to call in, defend your honor.
No, but he was on this. He called in once. And we talked about it here. But
boxing scientists, you got to call in because here's the thing: anybody can make accusations.
Yeah.
So
I put the word out. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really listen. Anybody can make. I can make an accusation against Mirage and then say, oh, got to put the message out. But if there's other people corroborating that that's what happened, then then it has to be addressed in some way because. Welching on
it was just brought up by somebody. It was brought up on this panel. I didn't even bring it up. So people know about this bet.
That's what I said.
It's all
that's what
over,
I said.
man.
When it's being that's what I said. When it's being corroborated by other people, then it becomes a different issue. Let's go to our phone call here. That they started to pile up. I suspect I know what the subject is going to be, man, because they start piling up as soon as we start. 713, you're on the air. 713. What's in your mind?
Yeah, about the weekend's fight. My fight prediction is Crawford's going to win. I'm hoping Andy Reese wins. Pitbull's going to win. And, that's everybody, right?
Well, I mean, that's about,
today.
What do you think about the sacrifice?
Yeah,
do
I think I'm missing.
Do you think there's going to be a human sacrifice tomorrow? What Tank is saying?
I mean, it's big over there at the Middle East. I mean, they'll sacrifice anybody, really. It won't matter if it's Muslim or non-Muslim. But I've been around those holidays, around those people. They get irritable because they're not eating, right? But they're just as humans as everybody. They drink, they do drugs, they pay for play, all that stuff. But they probably just got a lot of money. That's probably what it is. A lot of cash on hand. But I'm just looking for it. Hopefully it gets to be a good fight. And then I just want to say I'm actually glad that Canelo is fighting on Mexican Independence Weekend, and that the UFC and Turki Alalshikh they noticed this, and that Canelo is a star of combat sports, period. And then I'm glad Oscar didn't bend the knee so easy with Turki. I don't think Bob ever took the knee either. They just announced they're just going to work together or whatever. Yeah, I don't think even Al Heyman bent the knee. And you can see the Dana White guy, he bent the knee real quick.
He bent both knees, yeah. He got on both knees, man.
And then supposedly they're worried about not turning a profit at the spear. And it just shows you that Canelo is a star of boxing. And then it's not the first time. I was in my 20s when they're saying that UFC is going to take over, but they really haven't. Matter of fact, the price is the same as boxing now. It's almost the same price.
Yeah, that's true.
People complain that the UFC is getting expensive to watch.
That's a good point.
It should be another topic. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I said that's a good point, yeah, but we got to move on, man. We're running out of time here, so if you could just make your last point here, please.
Yeah. My last statement is the fight shouldn't be it shouldn't be a pay-per-view thing. It should be how many people pay-per-view it, how many people illegal stream it, and how much at the gate to determine the success of the event. But that's all, man. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thank you, man. Thank you for your call. Call back next time, man. Take it easy out there. Let's go to our phone call here.
Hey, BDA, I just want to, can I just say,
yeah,
talking about, everybody's pumping up Pitbull Cruz, man. Did you see the face-off with Arroyo, man? Pitbull Cruz is like 3 foot tall. Arroyo's going to knock that fool out. Okay, that's my official pick. Arroyo's going to knock him out.
I was thinking, I see some people saying, oh, Pitbull, easy. And I'm thinking, easy? I don't know, man. I mean, the guy, Rayo can crack, man.
Rayo's got a big punch, man. Yeah, he's a massive
And he's
punch.
huge. He's huge, man, compared to, I mean, that's going to be a factor, man. And I think he learned. he had terrible defense against Dylan Sanders. I think he's improved.
Pitbull's actually the biggest star of this event. They showed the crowds and they all swarmed the little Pitbull, man, the little Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, people say
good on him, but I think he's going to knocked out.
I heard people saying that when Crawford
They
first
call
arrived
him
at
a
the Grand
Ninja
Arrival, when Crawford got in there at the Grand Arrival wearing a hoodie, people thought people said that they thought he was a rapper. And then when he took the hoodie off, people said, "Who the fuck is this guy?" And they walked away. That's what somebody said on Thunderdome's stream. And I said, you know what? It's a good point.
Wouldn't surprise me.
8:05, you're on the air. 8:05. What's on your mind?
Hey, Weasel, are you still there?
Who?
The Weasel you have in the background, the one that should be showing the receipts and has been ducking for a while. It's been years already.
Who are you talking
Months, years.
Oh, Mirage.
The snake in the grass that you got on your panel. Yeah.
Sobers.
No, not Sobers. Mirage. The little snake in the grass.
Well, I don't know what you're referring to about. But Mirage, what's he talking about? Go ahead. He's talking about you.
I'm waiting for him to say something.
He was talking about how
We're going to be waiting a while.
These
We're going to be waiting a while.
and that he has the receipt. He still hasn't showed it. I gave my word that I'd donate $10 to the channel if he showed the receipts. It's been months. Where you at, Weasel?
A receipt for what? For the Andrade fight?
Now you got
amnesia?
amnesia?
It was on free to wear. It was on free to wear.
Now you got short-term memory? I can do
I'll
that.
show you. Okay, I'll show you a receipt for the Gvozdyk fight. I'll show you a receipt for the for Tank Davis.
Nobody cared about that fight, dude. What about the plan? Or
I paid
the
for it. I paid
Andrade
for
fight?
it. I paid for it. Have you been drinking again?
You said you paid for it.
Yeah, I did. I paid for it. For David's last fight. You want to show you a receipt?
He's backpedaling. Uh-oh. That's for bitching.
I'll show you the receipt. You can send that, and you can send that $10. Okay.
Just say that.
Is that the best you got, man? You waited all day to come up with that. Is that the best?
Then why are you stuttering?
Funny, bro.
I'm not stuttering, man. I don't think you should allow intoxicated people on the thing that sort of derail the fucking conversation.
When are you going to show the receipt, Mirage? Stop being a weasel, dude. We already know you're like Solomon, dude. Come on now.
Okay. I'll show it to you after the call.
All right. Well, listen, Amok, go on the Discord.
And send that $10. You better send that $10.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the Discord. Apparently, Mirage...
Show the receipt.
Yeah,
Show the receipt.
I'll organize it.
There you go. All right. All right, Amok,
You said you had it in your email. This was months ago.
Oh, boy. Amok, you want to jump on the panel? Or, because...
Yeah, I'm done.
No, I said if you want to jump on the panel.
Are you going to say something interesting at all? Like, you've been on here for like 10 minutes. We're still waiting.
I mean, you've been saying the same shit over and over again. All you do is rephrase it.
I mean, I've been educating the listeners. I've been educating you as usual. So hopefully you've been listening. You're learning a lesson as usual.
What do you mean? You're lying to the people. You're spreading fake news like CNN.
Keeping it real. I'm keeping it real, man. Giving you some serious boxing insight.
You remember when you said that, David Benavidez is moving up to 175 for the first time.
Hey, you remember when I called you a peanut?
Remember that?
Remember when I called you a peanut? You're still a peanut.
Yeah.
You're still a peanut.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed.
Yeah? That's it? That's all
Remember
you got?
when I called you a muppet?
Okay.
All right, well, listen, this has been fascinating. We got to move on. This has been
you
fascinating.
little wallaby, you.
This is fascinating. We got to move on, though. Shout out to Amok. Thank you for your call, man. Take it easy out there. That was Amok PvP. I wanted to say something, and then I forgot amidst all the excitement here. Fuck, what was it? It was about the Madrimov fight? Fuck, I forgot, man. I think might as well because... Oh, yeah, okay, excuse me, yeah. Somebody in the chat, Baron Evola, Julius Evola said, Gvozdyk wasn't robbed, but it certainly wasn't some great performance by Benavidez, in my opinion. And I'm thinking, okay, yeah, but I mean, I don't think Gvozdyk won the fight, but who's saying that he was robbed? Baron, are you saying he was robbed? Mirage, are you saying that he was robbed? Because he brought that up when you came on. Crikey.
No, some people were saying that. I think they're just trolling. But Gvozdyk was in the shape of his life Did you see? He was chiseled like a Greek, like a statue.
He didn't fight back.
He was a giant in the ring. David came in. He was skinny.
You could see he was clearly holding back. You could see he was clearly holding back. When I watched that fight, I could see Gvozdyk. He didn't let his hands go. It's like he didn't even really want to hurt David.
He was scared to let his hands go because David was countering him.
David flurried like the first 3 rounds, and then Gvozdyk was just like a walk in the park.
So
David tried his hardest in the first 6 rounds. You can't say that he didn't go full balls to the wall the first 6 rounds, and then that's why he really gassed out. Gvozdyk was just like, another day, like a sparring session.
We saw David. That was his first fight. He moved up against all odds against a former lineal champion.
Started at 165.
And he was victorious. So I think that deserves some respect. You need to give him more respect and credit.
He didn't make a statement. Like, let's be honest. I like David, but I didn't feel he made a statement, and you said you admitted it.
So it wasn't his best performance, and he still beat a quality dude comfortably. So how good is he? Just imagine that. Not even the best day, and he still beat.
Because you're looking at it to how will he fare against legit 175ers? Anthony Yard. I guess they're talking about that could be his next opponent. But as far as the top guys, Bivol and Beterbiev, I don't think he's going to be probably a big underdog. It's not going to be close. It's going to be probably 5-1.
90 seconds.
No. You're delusional. 5-1. Okay. He's going to improve from that performance.
It's not going to be even money. Bivol, Beterbiev, he's not going to be even money in those fights.
He'll be maybe a slight underdog. He won't even be 2-1 underdog. Won't even be 2-1.
No, it wouldn't. It's not. No, it's going to be at least 3-1. At least more like 4 or 5.
All right, we'll see. But if you're judging him on that performance only, and that's the best he's got, that's a mistake. That's his first fight. He had injured hands. He's going to improve. Don't let that beat the standard.
The injured hands. Those are the excuses.
So that swelled up left hand on his knuckle, that was special effects in the post-fight press conference.
People
that was
hurt their
special
hands
effects.
fighting. It happens all the time. That's boxing. Right?
That was like David. That was David at 70%.
Okay, well, those are
we're
excuses. If you want to,
we're going to see him improve.
If you want to give the people excuses, I mean, everybody's listening to you, and you're throwing the excuses.
Look, hey, Frank. I just hope if Bivol wins, I just hope Bivol doesn't duck him. That's what I hope. I cross my fingers. The reality is, going to get in the ring.
The real truth, the truth of the matter is that there's a rematch clause, so that fight probably won't happen till this time next year. That's the reality of the division, and who knows that Beterbiev, if he wins, if he continues, that guy's Mr. Glass. We don't even know if he'll make it to October. And if Bivol, you think Bivol after Undisputed, he's really going to come back and fight a tough fight? He'll probably take a tune-up or try to get Canelo again. So David's best bet is to get a vacant title. But in the meantime, he still has to prove himself. I'm just telling you, Mirage, he did not look like the Mexican Monster.
That's fine. He's going to look better next time.
Okay.
And hopefully he fights Yard, Callum Smith, Boazzi, maybe one of those dudes. He will smack him up. We'll see. He's probably going to fight in December. I think he's going to fight.
I think if he fights a top 175er like Anthony Yard, I mean, who else is up there? If people know the names, these divisions.
You're going to pick against him. You're going to pick those dudes.
For the Anthony Yards, those type, the middle of the pack, the contenders. Man.
So the only people that beat him are the 2 best dudes in the division. They're the only 2 guys who are going to beat him.
Like Joe Smith, Anthony Yard, type of,
All right, well, listen, fellas.
He's not going to get the top guys.
Fellas, we got to go here.
But he should have stayed at 168. And you know what?
The problem is one guy's holding the belts, so it's pointless saying at 168. That's the problem. The belts were not available.
All right, fellas,
it's not about the belts. Nobody cares about the belts.
Yeah, listen. We'll do a special Canelo Benavidez episode since everybody wants one here. There's a lot of demand for it.
Line up all the Canelo fanboys and I'll knock them out the park.
Just don't stay up watching highlights all night, man. We need you fresh. But by the way, speaking of tomorrow's fight, I'm on DraftKings. The odds right now are, they're still 7-1 for Crawford. Somebody said that it was 9-1, that he had grown. Let's see if I go to odds check.
7-1?
I heard 11-1 at first.
7. So what is it? 7-1 now?
Well, money's coming in on Madrimov, right?
No.
Well, it depends.
So 7-1, that's the best.
Odds checker has it 8-1 for Crawford.
That's going for greatness, apparently. There you go,
look,
ladies
listen,
and gentlemen.
If you have money to spend to gamble, if you're a gambler and you're willing to lose, $100 or whatever, hey, if you put 100, 200, 300, hey.
It's not a bad bet. It's not a bad bet.
Well, I think if Madrimov were to pull the upset, the internet's gonna melt. I would love to see it. I would look this guy. Because they think this guy Sugar Ray Leonard, Floyd Mayweather, all wrapped in one. This is their guy. This is our era's. This new gen after Floyd. I guess this would be the Floyd Mayweather of this generation. I mean, they really think he's that guy. But the other guys, they had, Sugar Ray had Tommy Hearns, Floyd had Manny Pacquiao, and that's the problem. Terrence Crawford had Errol Spence, and look, man, he was a shell of himself. There's no way around it. Errol Spence was not. He was a shell of himself. If he was good, if he was great, it was 2017 or when was that face-off that they had? The first time they ever met or something like that. They have him in the hallway. Terrence
29,
Little Red Riding Hood.
I think that was 2018. Yeah. I think that's 2018. Late 2018.
That was the time. That was the time to do it.
Well,
the Wayne's going live now, by the way.
That's what I was going to say. So first of all,
check it out.
That's what, because thank you, man. So the Wayne's about to start, fellas. Go check it out. Apparently, it is a ceremonial weigh-in. They did weigh in earlier today. So the official weighs were. Hold on a second. Let me check here. It was Crawford weighed in at 153.4 and Madrimov at 154. So these guys are going to be well hydrated by the time they face off in today's weigh-in, ceremonial weigh-in. So we're going to be able to see if there's any size difference, any musculature difference. It's going to be interesting to see. Guys, go check it out. In the meantime, shout out to everybody in the chat. I want to give a shout out to, I missed 2 super chats real quick. Sergeant Slaughter, a.k.a. Gonzalo. Shout out to Gonzalo who says, salutes to King Bucho. I always keep you in my prayers, brother. You're the man. Well, first of all, I'm the man, not Bucho, but I appreciate the super chat there, Gonzalo. And he's keeping Bucho in his prayers. And we always keep you in our prayers there, Gonzalo. Always want you to stay out there on the straight and narrow. Shout out to Gonzalo. Hope he's doing okay. Shout out to Don Chile Relleno for his contribution to the super chat. He says, I hope Madrimov knocks out Grover from Sesame Street. The fuck out, he says. Tired of all these fanboys blowing smoke up his culo, like he's unstoppable. Well, listen, we'll see, man. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I think some people might be surprised. The only thing that worries me, like I said, is Madrimov, after the 6th round, he tends to get even sloppier. He gets less control, and he clinches a lot. He clinches a lot. I don't like that clinching. That clinching is a sign of a back foot bitch, even though he's not back foot bitching it all the time. When he gets tired, he starts turning into a bit of a back foot bitch. So that's a big red flag right there. But we'll see what happens, fellas. Go check out the weigh-in. It's going to be a long, grand pumped and circumstance type of thing they got planned. So go check it out. Thanks again for joining us. Really appreciate it. Everybody on the panel. Shout out to who was here? Never Sobers, Mirage, Frank Bay, El Tanque was here as well. Bucho was here.
Thank you.
Salute. Thank you, man. Thank you. Shout out to everybody that donated the super chat, everybody that called in, everybody that listened in, of course, as well. Shout out to everybody. You guys know who you are. Quentin Lassiter, Skull Kid 25, King KO, Dick Quick Slot, Baron Evola, Dark Hado, Raphael 32, Raphael 32, Skull Kid 25, J.A., Isaac Bermudez, Dex 2024, Grim Reaper, Protectorate General, Joe is in the house as well. Shout out to Joe, Amok, Double L. If I forgot anybody, fellas, because we gotta